Good evening and welcome to Richmond Raiders football. I'm Tim Hurley with you live from the Richmond Coliseum as tonight the 3-5 Raiders take on the 4-4 Lehigh Valley SteelHawks in a renewal of one of the National Conference's best rivalries, one ignited last year, one won by the Raiders in both regular season meetings and in a playoff meeting here in Richmond, but there's no love lost between the two teams as the SteelHawks come to town for the first time in 2014 on a skid of their own, looking to get back at the Raiders, looking to get back into the win column at the same time that the Raiders look to extend their winning streak, which continued last week. The teams are coming off of two different results in the state of Georgia last week. The Raiders defeated the Georgia Fire in Rome, Georgia, 72-53. The SteelHawks fell to the Columbus Lions, 54-42. For the Raiders, it was a rough start against the Fire on a Sunday afternoon game. They were down 21-8 after throwing two pick sixes early in the going and had a fumble recovery that the Fire eventually turned into a touchdown as well. But the defense started getting some stops, getting some sacks on the Georgia quarterbacks, and Phil Konopka threw three touchdown passes to end the first half. Not to be outdone, the defense got in the action as well. Kevin Allen fell on a fumble at the goal line, taking it in for a touchdown and a 37-24 halftime lead. The Raiders continued staying strong on both sides of the ball in the second half, even as Cecil Lester came in relief at quarterback for the Fire, threw some touchdowns of his own, but also threw a pick in the second half, and the Raiders cruised to their largest margin of victory since the 2012 season. In the game, they had 6 sacks, 3.5 of those coming from Devin Jones, who also had 3.5 tackles for loss and was named the PIFL's Defensive Player of the Week. Also for the Raiders, T.C. Stevens was 9 for 9 on extra points, made 2 field goals and 3 unos, and with his 18 points kicking, a season high in the entire league this year, was named the league's Special Teams Player of the Week. The SteelHawks going in a different direction, like I said, losers of now 4 straight after dropping a 54-42 decision to the Columbus Lions down in Columbus, Georgia last week. It was a close game to start. The team traded touchdowns at the beginning. It was 14-14 in the second quarter. The SteelHawks actually got a stop. Quarterback Adam Bednarik punched it in from 1 yard out on 4th and goal to give them a 21-17 lead. It was their only lead of the game, though, because very quickly after that, Columbus struck for a touchdown and took a 24-21 lead into the locker rooms at the halftime break. The SteelHawks suffered through a scoreless third quarter. They fumbled on the first play of that quarter, went on to miss a field goal and turn the ball over on downs, and when all was said and done, the Lions were up by 20. In the fourth quarter, they had a quarterback change of their own. Shane McSweeney came in and did throw 3 fourth quarter touchdowns, but also had a pick, and the Lions were never really threatened down the stretch, and they closed the door on the SteelHawks, sending them, like I said, to their 4th straight loss, and reeling here into Richmond as the two teams renew their National Conference rivalries. So it's a big game for both teams in terms of playoff seeding. The winner of tonight's game will be in second place in the National Conference. As we go into the final third of the PIFL season, those top 2 teams in the conference will qualify for the playoffs in the 2014 postseason. Stick around, a lot more from Richmond coming up. When we come back, we'll have an interview with Richmond Raiders head coach James Fuller, get his thoughts on the short turnaround, a Sunday to Friday turnaround for his team, a long road trip, and now a Friday night home game. So his thoughts on the turnaround, rivalry with Lehigh Valley, and much, much more. All that coming up from each other with Coach Fuller after this, so stay tuned to Richmond Raiders football.
Attention! At this time, we'd like to ask all passengers seated in Zone All of Richmond to get on board with keeping fares low and adding more competitive flights. All those who want to save money and keep competitive rates in Richmond, please add low-cost airlines to your travel plans. Thank you to those who have. Zone, yes, we're talking to you. Please get on board at this time. Save Low Fares Richmond, a campaign of the Greater Richmond Chamber. SaveLowFares.com.
At an undisclosed McDonald's location, there is a club where the best of the best gather in secret. Tonight, they welcome LeBron James. And what does one serve the best basketball player? The Bacon Clubhouse, 100% pure beef or chicken sandwich prepared on a new artisan roll, all with our famous Big Mac special sauce, because everyone deserves the best. Now get free fries and a soft drink with the purchase of any Bacon Clubhouse. There's something for everyone to love at McDonald's.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right into your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to Richmond Raiders football. We're joined now by the head coach of the Raiders, James Fuller. Coach, it's been a short week for you guys, a Sunday to Friday turnaround. Is the team ready and prepared for tonight's game?
I hope so. Hay's on the barn right now, so, you got to be ready to play. Regardless of the short week, you got to get your work in, and hopefully the focus is there tonight.
You've got your usual defensive rotation back intact tonight. Is Preston Hines 100% and ready to go?
Yeah, he's 100%. Last week he was about at 80. Just thought he was a little banged up, had a little back injury, so we just wanted to rest him because that long trip was a little too much. So, hopefully he's ready to show out tonight.
Last week, as we had the previous week, we saw James Carter on the defensive line and some fourth down and goal line situations. Is he going to be used strategically on defense again tonight and then mixed in on offense as well?
Yeah, we'll use him both ways, offense and defense. Use him on the goal line a little bit, as well as pass protection. So, he's a versatile player. We'll continue to use him where we need him. He steps up to the plate every time.
Lehigh Valley has given up the most sacks in the league. Is there anything you want to exploit against their offensive line, especially considering you've got not only the league's top sack man in Devin Jones, but the league's overall top sack unit on your defense?
We just want to do the same thing we've been doing all year, just try to stay consistent, squeeze the pocket, regardless of who we're playing. We just want to get consistent pressure, even if we're not sacking the quarterback, at least get on top of them and make it difficult.
Lehigh Valley is not carrying a fullback tonight, so they're going to go with all four offensive linemen across the line and in the backfield. Did that change anything for you? Does it change anything the way they'll protect the quarterback and the way they'll get after him?
No, teams have been doing that all year. Each team we meet, they tend to put a big boy in the backfield because our pass rush, is pretty significant, and we move guys around. So it helps with their matchups. We just continue to do what we do, stay aggressive, stay active, and play smart.
Last week you mentioned that Georgia game planned for Kenny Jones pretty well, had him bottled up all night. Is there anything you're going to try tonight early in the running game to see how Lehigh Valley is going to defend him and the run in particular, and go from there in terms of your play calling?
We'll definitely stay with kind of what we do. We'll try to feed him early, kind of see what the defense can handle, and then kind of make adjustments as the game goes on.
Bednarik, the quarterback for Lehigh Valley, can be great. We saw that last year and in flashes this year, but he didn't finish the game for them last week, got pulled in the fourth quarter. What do you expect from him tonight? What do you expect to do defensively to try to keep him bottled up and keep him ineffective?
Well, he's a very good quarterback. He's proven it. He's had some issues because he had a bunch of different receivers, but we expect him to come out and do what he always does, play a good game. So, we got to kind of limit the deep balls, force him to check the balls down and stay in his face defensively with our line.
Speaking of his receivers, he's got a new one tonight, but one who's very familiar to you. Chris Schubert has signed with the SteelHawks. He'll be in the lineup this evening. How do you think he'll fit into their offense and what they try to do?
I think he'll fit in well. Schubert's a good player, smart, understands the game, been around the game a while. So I look for him to step in and feel right at home with the things that they do. Regardless of who they put out there, we're still going to stay with our game plan. And if they do change some things up, we'll adjust.
Lehigh Valley is on a 4-game losing streak coming in tonight. Of course, they lost all 3 matchups against you last year. Do you think they'll be extra hungry, extra motivated to get off of both of those schneis tonight?
Well, I think last year may be in the back of their mind, but I think more so the losses this year. Just they're going to come in here hungry, on the little skid that they're on right now, and they're going to try to play their best ball. We know about them, they know about us. It's going to be a tough game, but I think we're ready.
What do you want to see from your team that'll show you they're ready and show you they can continue your winning streak and keep Lehigh Valley's losing streak in the books as well?
Well, we got to get off to a fast start offensively and defensively, keep the crowd in it, and just not give up any big plays, limit the mistakes and turnovers.
Thanks for joining us, Coach. Good luck tonight against the SteelHawks.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more after this, so stay tuned to Richmond Raiders football.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away. But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size.
We know what you told us.
There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat. Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Kissel spent 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum as the Lady Raiders finish their pregame routine, always entertaining the crowd before, during, and after the game here. Just a few minutes until kickoff between the Raiders and the SteelHawks, two teams that for the moment are going in opposite directions this year. The Raiders have finally strung together 2 wins in a row. After starting the season 1-5, they have beaten Harrisburg and they've beaten Georgia the last 2 times out to raise the record to 3-5. The SteelHawks started the season 4-0, getting 2 wins each against Trenton and Harrisburg. But in the last 4 outings, they have gone 0-4. 3 of those games coming against the American Conference, Alabama, Nashville, and last week Columbus, all sending the SteelHawks down to a loss, with Trenton in the middle getting a little bit of revenge and salvaging the final game of their season series with Lehigh Valley. So the teams are separated by just 1 game in the standings, and the winner of tonight's game will be in second place. And importantly, will have a leg up in the tiebreaker should it come down to that. Lehigh, as I mentioned, getting those 2 early wins against Trenton and Harrisburg each, have the tiebreakers in a head-to-head scenario against both of those teams, which could be significant as the Raiders, the SteelHawks, and the Stampede all jockey for playoff position behind the first place Freedom. Phil Konopka for the Raiders at quarterback is improving. A couple weeks ago, he won the PIFL Offensive Player of the Week award, getting 4 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown in the Raiders' win over the Stampede. Last week, he threw 7 touchdown passes and led the Raiders to their highest scoring output in over 2 years. For the SteelHawks, quarterback Adam Bednarik is more or less treading water. He was the first team all-league quarterback last year, but he's been asked to do it all this year, put a lot more on his shoulders since his wide receiver stable has not been as consistent as it was last year. A couple of the talented receivers he had in 2013 have moved on to other leagues and higher levels of play, and the ones that they have had have kind of been a revolving door to a couple of slots. As we mentioned with Coach Fuller a moment ago, one of those slots is occupied now by former Raider and former Stampede Chris Schubert, who was here with the Stampede the first time they came to Richmond to face the Raiders. These teams had 3 intense battles last year, and they will renew the rivalry tonight. In the first game here in Richmond last year, the Raiders had a big lead early. The SteelHawks came back and put some pressure on them late, but the Raiders did end up winning that game by the most comfortable of the 3 margins as they would experience in the season and in the postseason. Second meeting came in Lehigh Valley a few weeks later, and it was the SteelHawks' turn to get out to a big lead as they were up by 21 points in the first quarter. Raiders finally got it together a little bit, put some offensive consistency together, and got a couple of defensive stops along the way. A key defensive stop in the second half allowed them to get closer, and then 2 interceptions on the SteelHawks' last 2 possessions led to the eventual game-winning touchdown, and then the final offensive chance to run off the clock as the Raiders won by 2 points in Lehigh Valley. And since the Raiders won both of the regular season matchups, they got the tiebreaker over Lehigh Valley. And when the 2 teams both finished 7-5 on the season, the Raiders got to host the playoff game. And that was another battle for the ages between these 2 squads. A back-and-forth affair all night long. Every time the Raiders tied the game, the SteelHawks would immediately score again to go back up by a touchdown. And it wasn't until special teams came into play in the fourth quarter that the Raiders could capitalize and get out ahead on top. The SteelHawks missed an extra point. The Raiders made their next extra point, got an Uno as well to go up by a couple of points. And then when the SteelHawks had to go for 2, they missed that. The Raiders scored again to go up by 3, got an Uno to go up by 4, forcing the SteelHawks to go for a touchdown late in the game, a field goal doing them no good in the final minute. They had to go for the touchdown, threw a pass shy of the goal line as time expired, and a touchdown-saving tackle was made as no time showed on the clock, and the Raiders escaped with a 4-point win and a berth in the 2013 PIFL Championship game. So those 3 matchups weighing on the SteelHawks as they come back into town this year. But more importantly, the 0-4 record in the last 4 games weighing on this Lehigh Valley team that a third of the way through the season was in the driver's seat in the PIFL Northern Conference. Now 2/3 of the way through the season, find themselves hanging on for dear life as they come to Richmond with second place on the line. We'll take a look at the PIFL standings now, get you caught up on the American and National Conferences after last week's action. 3 games in the league last week. You know that the Lions beat the SteelHawks and that the Raiders beat the Georgia Fire. The final game was an American Conference tilt. The Nashville Venom beat the Alabama Hammers 59-45. So some separation now in both conferences, and in fact the standings look the same in terms of records 1 through 4. In the American Conference, the Venom are 6-2 in first place, the Lions 4-4 in second place, and the Fire and the Hammers are both 3-5, tied for third. In the National Conference, the Freedom are 6-2 in first place, the SteelHawks 4-4 in second place, and the Stampede and the Raiders both 3-5, tied for third. Tonight, 2 National Conference battles on the PIFL slate. Our game here in Richmond and a game in Harrisburg between the Trenton Freedom and the Stampede. If the Stampede can get the win there and the Raiders win here, there will be a 3-way tie for second place, and the Freedom will come back to the pack a little bit with their third loss, and there will be just 1 game separating first through fourth in the loss column in the National Conference. So, of course, for the Raiders, priority number 1 is to get the win here. But Raiders fans are going to have to root for Trenton Freedom losses down the stretch here as the playoff picture tries to come a little bit more into focus in the final 4 games of the regular season. Going to be a great finish to the season as in both conferences, teams scratch and claw and fight for positioning, trying to get those top 2 slots in each conference and qualify for the 2014 PIFL playoffs. Raider introductions going on here at the Richmond Coliseum. Just a couple of changes from last week for the Raiders. Defensively, as you heard in the interview with Coach Fuller, Preston Hines is back, so Raybone Charles is out tonight. And that's really the only difference in the lineup. Offensively, same set of receivers, Herb Jones, Darren Clark, Derek Hector, and Scooby Bryant. John Bain and Phil Konopka quarterback, Kenny Jones the fullback, and their offensive line of Eric Weaver, Kenneth Moses, James Carter, and Stedman Gardner. Defensively, it'll be James Carter playing both ways a little bit. When he's not in there on the defensive line, it'll be Christian Lacey, Devin Jones, Gus Tyson, and Preston Hines rotating. Hines and Tyson can also play linebacker. Kevin Allen will be linebacker as well. And you've got Malik Cromartie, Tyrell Austin, and Torres Jones at defensive back. Some good news for the Raiders. Maurice Thorne this week was placed back on the active roster. He's not dressing tonight, but he came off that injury, if you remember, returning a blocked field goal against the Stampede. Got hurt, had to go on the IR, but he's healing up from that, back on the active roster, and will hope to be in action within the next couple of games. We'll take a time out from Richmond Coliseum, come back for the keys to the game and the opening kickoff after this, so stay tuned to Richmond Raiders football.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away. But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size.
We know what you told us.
There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat. Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
It was the third lap of the race. I came up to this jump, and all I remember is like seeing grass and sky rolling so many times.
Eli came in and was very, very frightened.
I woke up, and I had a cast to my toes. Nurse Sherry was the best nurse ever. Nobody can get better than her. She stayed after just to see if I'm all right.
Pediatrics is my world. It's just amazing working with kids. Good help is me.
From infants to teens and everyone in between, the stories continue here.
Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum as we're getting closer and closer to kickoff between the Raiders and the Lehigh Valley SteelHawks. For the Raiders to come out on top tonight, they're going to have to keep on getting pressure on the quarterback. Adam Bednarik for the SteelHawks, an indoor veteran, can definitely pick you apart if he has time. The good news for the Raiders is not only do they have the league's leading sack man in Devin Jones, he has 10.5 of those on the year, but as a unit, the Raiders team leads the PIFL in sacks with 30. On the other side of that coin, the SteelHawks offense has allowed the most sacks in the league. So it'll be up to Devin Jones, Christian Lacey, Gus Tyson, Preston Hines to pin their ears back and swallow the pocket, get some pressure on Bednarik, and bring him down before he has a chance to set his feet and throw. Secondly, the Raiders have got to limit turnovers this evening. In their wins this year, they've been either positive or even on turnovers. In every single loss for the Raiders this season, they have been negative in the turnover battle. So you cannot turn the ball over and expect to win in this game, especially this season for the Raiders. The Raiders won the coin toss and have deferred to the second half. The SteelHawks will receive the opening kickoff, and we're moments away from starting off from the Richmond Coliseum. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Heroes Academy, MWV, McDonald's, Bon Secours, Richmond International Airport, T. Miller's, Genworth, Richmond Tax Solutions, and Crown Richmond BMW. Our game night sponsor here in the Coliseum is Bon Secours, and you see the Bon Secours Movin' Mania mascots down on the field, helping with the coin toss and the ball presentation. And we'll see a lot more of them throughout the evening. They were on the concourse before the game tonight, entertaining and handing out prizes to kids. They'll be back at halftime, and they'll be entertaining throughout the game as well. So big thanks to Bon Secours and Movin' Mania for their sponsorship of the Raiders this evening. Raiders and the SteelHawks from the Richmond Coliseum. Round 1 between these two teams in 2014. They'll meet again in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania in a few weeks' time. A very important battle as the teams vie for second place in the National Conference. Glad you're with us from the Richmond Coliseum. T.C. Stevens getting ready to kick it off. And for the Lehigh Valley SteelHawks, deep man is Dwayne Hollis, kind of an all-purpose guy for them, a defensive back who returns kicks. He leads their team in all-purpose yards with a lot of returns of kicks, several interception returns. Tied for first in the league with 6 picks this year. Leads the league in tackles. Deep to return the opening kickoff. So we may see a lot of number 21 in gold this evening. First protector for him back at about the 12-yard line is Brandon Sutton. Sutton, a Raider the last couple of seasons, went to Lehigh Valley in the offseason, has been on the defensive line for the SteelHawks this year. Former Raider Michael Woodhouse also on the defensive line for the SteelHawks this season, on the kickoff coverage team as well. So 2 former Raider D linemen on the other side of the ball tonight, making their return to the Richmond Coliseum in opposing colors. Set for the kickoff. T.C. Stevens has it teed up. The approach and the kick. A high, deep one, end over end, toward the uprights, through the uprights. T.C. Stevens starts the game with an uno. Picking up where he left off last week as Special Teams Player of the Week. He had 3 unos in Georgia on Sunday afternoon, and it's 1-0 Raiders to get things started here tonight. Adam Bednarik, the quarterback for the SteelHawks. No fullback for him. They're going with 4 offensive linemen up front. Wide receivers are Brandon Renford, Troy Passley, and Richie Martin. Mentioned in the interview with Coach Fuller, a 3rd former Raider, Chris Schubert, is with the SteelHawks at wide receiver. He's not on the field to start, but we'll probably see him in the mix this evening. Bednarik in the shotgun where he loves to operate. We'll see that most of the time tonight. Quick out on the first play of the game is bobbled, and it goes incomplete. Richie Martin had to go off his hands about 2 or 3 times and then eventually hit the top of the wall. And the home field advantage comes into play as a alert Raider fan in the front row grabbed the loose ball, and it goes incomplete for Bednarik. 2nd down and 10 from the 5. Devin Jones, Christian Lacey, Preston Hines across the defensive line for the Raiders, with Gus Tyson and Kevin Allen, the linebackers. Austin, Jones, and Cromartie, the DBs. Bednarik in the end zone, flushed out, rolling to his right, being chased, throws it deep downfield, and that ball is incomplete. Torres Jones closed on it, couldn't get there in time. Terrell Austin had stride-for-stride coverage on Brandon Renford going down the field, and it's 3rd and long for the SteelHawks on the opening drive of the ball game. Raiders got some pressure on Bednarik. That's what they want to do. Flush it out of the pocket, make him throw on the run, if not getting to him and hitting him before he throws. On 3rd and 10, he'll have trips right, with Passley coming out of the end zone. He's in the end zone to throw. He's pressured again, running to his right, and he throws it away. The pass did not get back to the line of scrimmage. The pass only got to the goal line, but no flag comes down. Bednarik out of the pocket, avoiding a sack and a safety, flipped the ball over the wall right at the goal line. Billy Jarvis there to say it didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, looking for that intentional grounding call, and the referees are conferring to see if they're going to throw a flag. 2 straight plays, the Raiders got to Bednarik and flushed him out of the pocket. And the flag comes out. We're going to get the flag, and the Raiders are going to get a safety.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 8. The foul occurred in the end zone. Safety.
The right call by the officials. That ball went over the wall right above the pylon. And Jonah Monroe and his crew get it right. So the Raiders get a safety on the intentional grounding call, and they're up 3-0 with 12:53 to play in the first quarter. Good job by Billy Jarvis, too, the Raiders defensive coordinator, getting in the ear of the officials, making sure that they huddled up, saw what the situation was, and made the call. 3-0 Raiders, and they'll receive the kick. A real good start for the Raiders, scoring on special teams with the Uno on the kickoff, scoring on defense, flushing out Bednarik and getting the penalty for the safety. And now the offense will get out there, see if they can score an offense, keep the things going. Michael Barnard is the kicker for Lehigh Valley. He's having a pretty good year. 13 Unos for him to lead the PIFL. Speedy Clark is deep for the Raiders. Scooby Bryant at the 10-yard line. Two dangerous return men deep for the Raiders. Barnhard for the kickoff. It's away. It's deep. Speedy Clark watched it sail over his head and under the crossbar. So here comes the Raiders offense. Phil Konopka has had 12 touchdowns overall in the last 2 games. 7 passing touchdowns last week, 4 passing and 1 rushing the week before. He was PIFL Offensive Player of the Week 2 weeks ago. He'll have Speedy Clark, Herb Jones, and Derek Hector as the wide receivers to start things off tonight. Kenneth Moses, Eric Weaver, and James Carter on the offensive line. Kenny Jones, the fullback. Speedy Clark going in forward motion. Konopka, a quick drop, a quick out. Herb Jones makes the catch, goes across the 15-yard line, puts an arm out, and gets to the 18 as he took Stanley Dunbar a yard or 2 upfield after a contact. It's going to be second and short for the Raiders. Konopka likes that sideline pass to Herb Jones, especially early in a series. When Konopka threw 3 straight touchdowns to end the first half last week, they were all 2-play drives. They all started with a pass to Herb and ended with a touchdown. Trips left on 2nd and 2. Handoff goes to Jones running right. He's going to get muscled down very close to the 20-yard line on a first down. It'll all depend on the spot as Celian, Darby, and Brandon Sutton were there on the tackle. A couple of fans signaling first down from the front row. And the officials agree. Jones takes it right to the 20. So Coach Fuller, as he said before the game, getting Kenny Jones involved early, trying to see how the SteelHawks will defend him and defend the run. Fresh out of downs, Derek Hector on the short right side. He's the high motion man. Konopka sets up in the pocket, looking to throw, going deep, looking for Hector, and he overthrows him, and a flag comes down. Hector couldn't get to the long ball. Stanley Dunbar was there. Contact between the two, and it's a pass interference call against the SteelHawks.
Pass interference, defense number 4. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Jonah Monroe with the call. He's our white cap tonight. Also on the crew, Mark Wilson, Tracy Jones, Mia Chaka, and Alonzo Ramsey. Penalty will take it to the SteelHawks 20. 11-10 to play in the first quarter. Darren Clark, the man they nicknamed Speedy, is in motion. Konopka, a deep drop, has time, gets it complete to Hector at the 15. He'll go between a couple of men and spin and be stood up. Kenny Jones and then Moses in there to try to help push the pile back forward. They stood up Derek Hector, swiped at the ball, but he did a good job to hang on to the football. And when all was said and done, he got 9 yards. Second and short. Might be time for Kenny Jones again, or it might be time for a throw into the end zone from the 11-yard line. Clark is again in motion. It is a handoff to Jones. He's going to get the first down, but not much more. He's stood up and driven backwards. Woodhouse and Sutton in on that tackle. And actually, they might spot him a foot short. Yeah, still about the length of the football to go. Third down for the Raiders. Konopka, not a guy who's going to try a quarterback sneak. He's got just a handful of runs this year, mostly coming on scrambles and bootlegs. He's got trips to his right. He'll hand it off to Jones. He'll get pushed backwards and drop for a loss. A penalty flag is down. Jonas Celian made first contact for the SteelHawks.
Illegal formation, defense number 58. 5-yard penalty, automatic. I'm sorry, not.
That's Michael Woodhouse out of position. And it brings up first and goal for the Raiders. Ball just outside the 5-yard line. We're under 10 minutes to play in quarter number 1. Raiders on top by 3. Looking to get in the end zone and score the game's first touchdown. Hector shifts over to the left side. Clark in motion. Toss to Kenny Jones. He has stood up, and the SteelHawks there in pursuit. Sutton the first man through. Celian there to help clean up along with Dwayne Hollis.
The loss of about 3 yards. It's going to bring up second goal at the 8-yard line.
So the running game not getting much for the Raiders in the early going. Jones a positive carry to get a first down earlier in the series, but no gain. A loss that was wiped out by that penalty, and now a loss that counts. Second and goal from the 8. Konopka will throw it. Fires left behind Herb Jones. Herb on the slant. Couldn't get his arms extended behind him. So it's third and goal as the drive threatens to sputter out for the Raiders. Raiders all the momentum early. Opening kickoff uno. Opening series safety by the defense. And now with the offense out there, already in field goal range, but you'd love to get a touchdown here and go up by 10 points in the very first exchange. Trips left on third and goal and a timeout called. Looks like Coach Fuller is going to take his first of 3. 7 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the first quarter. And we've reached a media timeout. Raiders 3, SteelHawks nothing. Back to the Richmond Coliseum after this. You're tuned in to Richmond Raiders football.
At an undisclosed McDonald's location, there is a club where the best of the best gather in secret. Tonight, they welcome LeBron James. And what does one serve the best basketball player? The Bacon Clubhouse. 100% pure beef or chicken sandwich prepared on a new artisan roll, all with our famous Big Mac special sauce. Because everyone deserves the best. Now get free fries and a soft drink with the purchase of any Bacon Clubhouse. There's something for everyone to love at McDonald's.
It was the third lap of the race. I came up to this jump, and all I remember is like seeing grass and sky rolling so many times.
Eli came in and was very, very frightened.
I woke up, and I had a cast to my toes. Nurse Sherry was the best nurse ever. Nobody can get better than her. She stayed after just to see if I'm all right.
Pediatrics is my world. It's just amazing working with kids. Good help is me.
From infants to teens and everyone in between, the stories continue here.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm going to have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
Back to the action coming out of a Raiders timeout. Third and goal from the 8. Konopka back to throw. He is hit and dropped. Never saw backside pressure coming from Tim Hume, and he took a big hit for a sack at the 16.
In from the left side for a loss to the 15-yard line.
Coach Fuller not happy with the outside rush. Thought that Hume came around the end and not through the A-gap like he's supposed to. It's very specific rules on where the linebackers can come from, and it's got to be an A-gap. Can't stunt, can't twist. But the call stands, and after the sack, we've got a stoppage and a flag. Preliminary indication is a delay, but did they pump the play clock?
Hey, there is no foul for delay of game.
Yeah, they had to spot the ball. The umpire came into the middle of the formation and moved it to the middle of the field as opposed to the hash mark. And now holder John Bain is asking, is it supposed to go on a hash mark? And Christian Lacey is going to help spot the ball. Just a question of where the ball is going to be marked. And once they mark it, they've got to pump the clock. So Raiders have plenty of time to get situated and ready for this field goal attempt by T.C. Stevens. 31-yard try for T.C. Snap bounces. Bain's got to throw the fire drill. Looking for someone downfield. Can't find anyone and throws it away. Lacey, as he's being helped up by Eric Weaver, kind of pats himself in the chest and says, my bad. That was a bouncer back to Bain. Field goal never even attempted, and the SteelHawks get the ball back, still trailing by just 3 points. .6:31 to play in the first quarter. Raiders drive sputters, and the SteelHawks offense back out there from their own 16-yard line. Martin goes in circle motion from left to right. Bednarik gets a quick out, caught by Pasley behind a couple of blockers to the wall near the 20-yard line.
Sprints past the 20 to the 21-yard line. Gain of about 5 yards. Springs up second.
Give him a gain of 5 on Bednarik's first completion of the ball game. It was 0 for 2 in their ill-fated first series, including one that was an intentional grounding call. Trips left for him. Pasley, the motion man. Swings it out again. This time it's Renford on the catch, trying to get to the sideline. Cromartie there to put a shoulder into him and throw him into the pads. But he's got a first down, a yard shy of midfield. Check that, does not have the first down. The stick had fallen down. It's going to be third down and 3 yards to go. Third and 3 for Lehigh Valley. Trips right. Bednarik sends Pasley in motion. Looks to throw, steps into it, fires over the middle. It's complete to Renford. He is stumbling, but has room to run. Allen finally there with Torres Jones helping to make the tackle inside the 10-yard line. A big catch and run for Brandon Renford to set up the SteelHawks in the red zone. They'll have first and goal.
First down for the SteelHawks all the way to the 7-yard line. Will be first and goal at the 7.
Renford took it for 19 yards. And with 4:40 to play in the first quarter, the SteelHawks in business. Threatening to get in the end zone and go on top. Pasley in 4 motion slot right. Bednarik stands in the pocket. Now he's flushed out, and he's going to throw it away. Devin Jones got back there to put some pressure on him. And Bednarik sailed it over the wall and down the corridor.
Brings up second and goal.
That's the kind of pressure the Raiders need to get on Bednarik. They did not get to him those first couple of plays. They converted a third down. after 2 short swing passes. Coverage downfield good. Time for Devin Jones that time to get back there and pressure Bednarik. 2nd and goal now. Richie Martin's the motion man, and he's faking the handoff. Bednarik tries to run with it, but he is stacked up. Gus Tyson, Christian Lacey, Kevin Allen, all there to converge on Adam Bednarik and drop him for a loss at the 9. Bednarik off the fake to the motion man, swinging behind the offensive set. Lost a couple. Bednarik has been the rushing attack for Lehigh Valley this season. They do have a fullback on the roster, but as I said, he's not even in uniform tonight, electing to go with extra protection with offensive linemen in the backfield. Bednarik, that was his 50th carry. He's 5th in the league in rushing attempts this year. He's flushed from the pocket. Hennessy throws, but finds an open man at the goal line, and Renford falls in the end zone for the Lehigh Valley touchdown.
Good coverage up front. Brandon Renford with the catch. He's in for 6 for the SteelHawks.
So even though a little bit of pressure was getting to Bednarik, he was able to keep his head up and keep his eyes downfield and saw Renford come open across the middle. And the connection made for the SteelHawk touchdown. Barnhart on for the extra point. A little bit of a wobbly snap, but it's corralled and put down, and Barnhart is good.
With 2:11 remaining in the first quarter, your score now SteelHawks 7, Raiders 3.
The SteelHawks get the lead for the first time tonight. 2:11 to play in the first quarter, and it's 7-3 SteelHawks.
The Raiders would like to thank Heroes for their sponsorship of the Richmond Raiders. Go visit their table on the
So after the teams' respective offenses both sputter the first time out, SteelHawks get untracked and move 34 yards in 6 plays. Bednarik, the 9-yard pass to Renford for the touchdown, which is Bednarik's 22nd of the year. I mentioned he was the first team all-league quarterback a season ago. He's in about the middle of the pack statistically in terms of PIFL quarterbacks this year. 3rd in completion percentage, 5th in yards, 5th in touchdowns. Had a rotating cast of characters so far at wide receiver. In fact, neither team has a receiver over 50 catches or over 500 yards 8 games in. Barnard set for the kickoff. Clark, the deep man for the Raiders, backing up almost all the way to the wall. And the kick, another long one that's going to find the seating area behind the Raiders bench and bounce up several rows. Raiders get it at the 10-yard line to start their second offensive possession, trailing for the first time. Jones, Bryant, and Clark stay out there at wide receiver. Clark's going to go in motion. Konopka, a quick drop pump fake. Then he gets it out to Herb Jones. And the defense gets there, though. The pump fake may have cost Herb a couple of yards because Stanley Dunbar was able to get there, make the tackle after the catch. But the Raiders are going to get some extra yardage. A flag is down, maybe roughing the passer after Konopka let it go.
Personal foul, defense number 22. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So it was after the play counts to the 13. So I give Herb credit for 3-yard reception, and then the penalty takes it to the 23 of the Raiders. Final 2 minutes of the first quarter. Raiders trail by 4. Hector goes in motion. Konopka, 5-step drop, steps up, in trouble. He's brought down by Brandon Sutton. Sutton gets the sack and takes a bow to the Raiders fans in the front row.
Loss of a couple yards brings up 2nd and 12.
Second sack for the SteelHawks in the early going. Mentioned the Raiders needing to get pressure on Bednarik. Well, the reverse is true. They've got to protect Konopka when he's in the pocket. Hector's in motion. Konopka just gets the snap off, stands up, he's chased again, and he's going to get brought down again. Woodhouse was there, so on consecutive plays, the 2 former Raiders on the SteelHawks defensive front each get a sack. And the Raiders are moving backwards. That one, a big loss. Third down and 15 for the Raiders. Trips right. Konopka has to make something happen. Has time. Now he's pressured again. Throws off balance. Incomplete. Speedy Clark in the neighborhood. But Konopka couldn't step into that one at all as the pressure was coming. And that play will end the first quarter. Not a good offensive set for the Raiders. Protection breaking down. 2 sacks on Konopka. It's going to be 4th down and 15 when we return. 1 quarter in the books. SteelHawks on top, 7-3. Back for the second quarter after this. You're tuned in to Richmond Raiders football.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's going to happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum. Tim Hurley with you as we move to the second quarter. SteelHawks on top of the Raiders, 7-3. Raiders moving backwards on their current possession, facing 4th and 15 as the Lady Raiders entertain between quarters. It's going to have to be another T.C. Stevens field goal attempt. See if Christian Lacey can get off a better snap this time. This will be a 46-yard attempt for Stevens.
T.C. Stevens to attempt the field goal.
Better snap this time. Bain puts it down. TC gets it away, and it's not going to reach the back wall. Hauled in by Hollis. Out of the end zone he comes to the 5-yard line, running to his left to the 10 and 15. Crosses the 20 now across midfield, and Bain slows him temporarily, but he's going to get to the right sideline and take it all the way for the Lehigh Valley touchdown.
Number 21, Dwayne Hollis, returns that back all the way for a SteelHawk touchdown.
The elusive Dwayne Hollis, showing why he leads this team in return yards and is a dangerous weapon. He took that one back 56 yards, going from wall to wall across the field for a touchdown and a 13-3 SteelHawks lead.
Barnard to attempt the extra point.
Barnard for the extra point. And he missed it. That one went wide left. So the score remains 13-3. 13:54 to play in the second quarter. Raiders special teams giving up a 56-yard return. So now the offense has work cut out for it. Chance to get back out there and rectify some things. And we'll see if the offensive line will be able to shore up protection and give Konopka time to throw. The official website of the Richmond Raiders has game summaries, previews, photos, the latest news on Raider and Lady Raider community appearances, and much more. Visit RichmondRaidersProFootball.com, where you can also buy tickets and team merchandise. All Raiders all the time on RichmondRaidersProFootball.com. So the crowd was quite into it early with the opening kickoff uno and then a safety. But since then, it's been all SteelHawks. Their enthusiasm kind of dampened a little bit. Speedy Clark is deep. If he can get his hands on it, maybe he can energize this crowd a little bit. It's a line drive kick that he will let go over the wall. So it's up to the offense to energize the crowd. Still very early in the second quarter, 10-point deficit for the Raiders. Phil Konopka needs to stay upright. Moses, Weaver, and now Stedman Gardner on the offensive line, giving James Carter a break. Quick pass, caught by Clark, hit immediately over the 15-yard line. Hollis comes up shaking his head, but Clark hung on for the 6-yard gain.
Second and 4.
James Carter now into the mix at the fullback slot. Raiders need that extra protection with the offensive lineman in the backfield. Konopka stands up, throws deep, and it is caught going down to the turf. Derek Hector hangs on to the football inside the 5-yard line. Diving catch by Hector as he laid out at the 3. Good ball by Konopka. Even better effort from Derek Hector. .31 yards on the gain to give the Raiders first and goal. Kenny Jones checks back in at fullback. And we're going to have a delay.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Might change the play call here from 8 yards out. Lehigh Valley has been defending the run pretty well. Kenny Jones not able to get anything going so far. So I wouldn't expect him to get the carry from 8 yards out. Trips right. Jones on that side as well. And another delay. Well, the Raiders get timeout before.
Richmond, second timeout of the half.
Right before the clock expires. Well, the first one, you never want to see a delay of game, of course. But the first one, as they had to come all the way down the field, get some personnel changes made in front of their bench. So with that clock ticking, okay, maybe it takes a little longer to get down there. But to almost have a second straight delay of game when everyone was right there. Hate to see that. Raiders now down to 1 timeout for the rest of the half. And it's still 11:42 to play, so we hope that's not going to come back to bite them.
Dolphins flag football team. Central Virginia chapter of the West Virginia University Alumni Association.
First and goal from the 8-yard line. Coach Fuller in the huddle with the entire offense. Getting everybody on the same page. Let's see what he's drawing up. James Carter, the tight end. Kenny Jones, the fullback. Trips right with Clark going in motion. Konopka back to throw, being chased. Gets away from one man. Throws in the run. Back corner, caught by Darren Clark. Touchdown, Raiders. And a penalty flag after the play as Konopka took a hit from Jonas Celian.
Touchdown is good. Roughing the passer. Defense number 22. That penalty will be put in the bank.
So it'll be enforced after the kickoff. An 8-yard pass from Konopka to Darren Clark. Good job by Konopka to, one, avoid the pressure and not go down on first contact, then keep his feet moving and find the open man in the corner of the end zone. Stevens adds the extra point. Raiders pull to within 3, 13-10. 11:20 to play in the first half. 3-play, 40-yard drive for the Raiders. The big one, a 31-yard pass to laying out Derek Hector to give the Raiders first and goal. And Konopka finds Clark for the touchdown after that. Clark with 5 touchdowns this season. And he may have seen that his quarterback was in trouble and broken off his route and come back toward the direction that Konopka was rolling out. Because when Konopka got into trouble and rolled to his right, Clark ended up running to the same direction, and Konopka was able to see him and throw it down the field for the touchdown. So some penalty yardage in the bank for the Raiders. Now we've seen how dangerous Dwayne Hollis can be, so I'm not sure they even want to give him a chance to return it, even knowing they'll have a penalty. Wouldn't be surprised if T.C. Stevens just knocked this one out of the back of the end zone. Looks like he will. That's a high, deep kick. Going on the fly to the 7th row. The touchback is to the 10. The penalty takes it half the distance back to the 5. The SteelHawks are going to be backed up. And last time we saw them start from the 5, the Raiders got some pressure and eventually got a safety when Bednarik was flagged for intentional grounding in the end zone. Renford and Passley to the left of Bednarik and Richie Martin to the right. Renford, the motion man, coming out of the end zone. Quick toss out to Passley. And he'll reverse his field, cut back towards the middle. Devin Jones in pursuit, gets a block, and it's going to be Torres Jones finally catching up with Troy Passley on the complete opposite side of the field where he started. Passley showing some speed, even at 6'2", 210. Running the width of the field to the 13. Second down and a couple for Lehigh Valley. A little bit of breathing room for him, too. Passley, the motion man this time. Bednarik finds Passley across the middle. Big hit by Tyrell Austin. He drops him right at the 15-yard line. And a flag comes in very late. Looks like an okay hit to me to check this penalty flag.
After the play, Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 21 for taunting. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, it was the after-the-fact celebration that got the Raiders in trouble. Pass good for 3 yards. Penalty for 10. First and 10 SteelHawks at the Raiders 24. We're at the 10-minute mark of the second quarter. SteelHawks 13, Raiders 10. Schubert's in the game for the first time at wide receiver. He's to the wide right side. Renford to his left in motion. Pass comes out to Schubert. Gets behind a block from Renford. Diving attempt made by Preston Hines. Got just enough of Schubert to trip him up. He falls forward to the 18.
He's knocked down at the 18-yard line. Brings up 2nd and 4.
Schubert's already been in the Richmond Coliseum once this year. He was with Harrisburg a few weeks ago when the Stampede came to town. Caught 3 passes, 2 of them for touchdowns. He's wide to the left, a trips left set for Bednarik on 2nd down and 4. Renford in high motion. Bednarik steps up in the pocket. Now he's being chased. He throws it away. The pressure came, and a penalty flag is downfield. Gus Tyson got to Bednarik. Flag down at the 2-yard line. Look at the call from Jonah Monroe.
Holding defense number 22. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Another penalty on this Raiders defense. 15 yards and penalties this drive. Another first down for the SteelHawks. They're at the 13. Another trips left set for Bednarik. Martin, the motion man this time. From the shotgun, Bednarik ready to throw. Over the middle, has it complete to Martin, and he's dragged down from behind by Kevin Allen. Allen got him at the 4. 2nd down, a yard to go for Lehigh. This is where a lack of diversity in the offense might come into play a little bit. No fullback for him. Bednarik, the only running threat on the team. But now it's Shane McSweeney in and on the shotgun formation. Bednarik's out as receiver. McSweeney keeps it. He's going to get the first down, cutting up and getting tackled by Kevin Allen at the 2. Interesting Wildcat action with 2 quarterbacks on the field. Backup quarterback Shane McSweeney runs for a gain of 2 to give him 1st and goal at the 2. He stays in the game, as does Bednarik. Bednarik at a wide receiver and a trips right set. McSweeney in the shotgun. Gets a quick pass out. Caught by Renford, trying to get behind blocks, and does, into the end zone for the touchdown.
Pass is complete to Brandon Renford. He's in for 6 for the SteelHawks.
So the SteelHawks going with a 2-quarterback approach this possession. McSweeney comes in for the last couple of plays, throws the 2-yard touchdown to Brandon Renford. Barnard for the extra point. Pretty good snap, but again, Barnard misses it. 2nd straight extra point, he has missed wide left. So the score remains 19-10. SteelHawks up by just 9, 6:56 to play. After the 6-play, 45-yard drive, 15 of those yards Raider penalties. Shane McSweeney, the touchdown pass to Renford.
Coach Fuller answering on the air. Raiders presenting MWB Commission support from its headquarters in Richmond.
The Raiders thank their 2014 retail partners, including Green Top, Impulse Boutique, RVA Hobbies, Car Lots, Child Shield, One Stop Auto Repair, the Stephen Gould Corporation, and Care Advantage. Barnard has kept his kickoffs out of play all night. Nonetheless, Speedy Clark is deep for the Raiders. It's a high kick. Clark measures it, not going to quite get there as it went over his head in the center of the end zone. Fourth straight drive for the Raiders that will start at the 10-yard line. Raiders are going to go heavy again and keep Kenny Jones off the field when they're in minus territory. Gardner, Weaver, Moses, and Carter all out there to protect Phil Konopka. Hector, Jones, and Clark trips left. Carter's in the backfield. Swing pass comes out to Hector behind a block from Herb Jones, reverses his field and gets in trouble. A flag comes down as Hector ends up with his helmet off in the end zone. Forward progress being marked at about the 2. As he tried to do a little bit too much there. Lost yardage. We'll check the penalty flag.
Blocking the back. Offense number 77. That penalty is declined. Second down.
So the run after the catch by Hector, losing some yardage, back to the 2.
All right, with the penalty, Raiders push back to the 2-yard line. Brings up second and long.
SteelHawks defense there on the swing pass, and sometimes Hector's got to just take his medicine and go down, especially when you're backed up inside your own red zone. 6:22 to go before halftime. Clark motions around the back of the end zone. Konopka in the end zone to throw. Under pressure, runs to his right, throws the ball away. Konopka wasted no time once the pressure got to him to just stay alive and get the ball down past the line of scrimmage and live to fight another play. 3rd and 18. Raiders certainly want to get the ball out of a little bit of danger here should they need to kick it again on 4th down. Konopka back into the end zone. Flag is down. He throws the ball into the stands again, getting rid of it, and another flag comes down at the end of the play. We got 2 penalties on the play as Jonah Monroe and his crew sort things out. One flag at the 3-yard line, the other one in the end zone that came down late after Konopka released the ball. Here's the call.
Illegal formation. Defense. That penalty is declined. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 12. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So both penalties against the Seahawks. Raiders get 10 yards and an important first down. Ball comes out to the 12-yard line, so they do get some breathing room. 1st and 10. The SteelHawks have called timeout. Defensive coordinator Matt Cohen huddling up with his crew, trying to get them to eliminate those penalties. Now, the Raiders are all over social media, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go to facebook.com/RIC Raiders and like the team page. Raiders are at RIC Raiders on Twitter, same at Instagram, at RIC Raiders. You can interact with other fans, get updates on game information and player appearances, and get unique content, pictures, and much more, all from the convenience of your computer or smartphone. You're not done surfing the web until you've checked in on the Raiders via Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Raiders staying heavy with James Carter in the backfield. Hector in motion to the right. Konopka back to throw, has time over the middle. He goes, it's caught by Hector. Good catch by him to go out with both hands and secure that football. Takes a big hit and is a little slow to get up, but seems okay. It's a pat on the back from Woodhouse. Took it just past the 21. Hector's sandwiched a little bit. He's going to come off the field for the time being. As in that sandwich, he got a little bit banged up, so Scooby Bryant is on there. He'll be wide to the left. Jones and Clark to the right. Konopka steps up, running to his right now. Woodhouse gets to him. The pass incomplete. He had Herb Jones wide open, but in his haste to avoid a sack, threw it a little bit out of Jones's reach as Jones lunged for it and barely got a fingertip on it. 3rd down and a yard to go. Under the 4.5-minute mark of quarter number 2. Clark's the motion man on Konopka. Quick drop, quick throw. Caught by Clark on the run. Pushed into the wall to the 15-yard line by Dwayne Hollis. But a great route by Darren Clark. Konopka was on time, and the Raiders get a first down in Lehigh Valley territory.
First and 10 at the 15.
14-yard pickup and a big 3rd down conversion. Hector still on the sideline. Bryant on the field. He's the motion man from left to right. Konopka sets up, sets his feet. Incomplete. Herb Jones should have caught that one. He stopped, got both hands on it. Pass was behind him where he was standing, but he'll tell you with both hands on it, it's a catch he has to make. Pretty good Friday night crowd here in the Richmond Coliseum. First Friday night home game in a few years for the Raiders. And a good crowd here for Friday Night Lights. Konopka throws, it's incomplete. Bryant, the intended receiver. Konopka took a hit from Woodhouse after he threw the ball. Konopka certainly getting banged up in this first half. Under 2.5 minutes to play, and it's 3rd and 10. Raiders trail by 9, so you have to wonder if they're on 4-down territory here. From the SteelHawk 15, Speedy Clark goes in motion. And we've got Woodhouse, Sutton coming across the line. Sutton got deepest, says he was pulled off, but we'll get the call.
Defense number 99.
See what happens when you get loud, Rich.
And the crowd getting credit for Brandon Sutton jumping across the line. So now on 3rd and 5, a lot easier to say the Raiders are in 4-down territory. Trying to get 5 yards in 2 plays. Herb Jones outside the numbers on the right side. Clark to his left in motion. Konopka, a pump fake. Lobs it for Herb. Back corner. He's got it. Touchdown, Raiders. Good play by Konopka on the fake. And Herb was open in the back corner of the end zone. A 10-yard touchdown. Great ball by Konopka. Great concentration by Herb Jones. 10th touchdown of the year for Herb. The Raiders draw closer with T.C. Stevens on for the extra point. And he missed it. Sails wide left. So the Raiders settle for drawing to within 3, 19-16. 1:09 to play, and it'll be an interesting final 69 seconds. The Raiders down to one timeout. Should they choose to use it defensively once we get toward the 1-minute warning? SteelHawks have 2. Raiders will receive the second half kickoff, so Lehigh Valley will undoubtedly try to keep possession for as much, if not all, of the rest of the half. 8-play, 40-yard drive for the Raiders. Konopka to Herb Jones from 10 yards for the touchdown. That missed extra point by T.C. Stevens ends a streak of 28 straight made extra points for the Raiders kicker. Trying to make up for it with an Uno, but missed it just a little bit, pushing it to the right. Nice catch by a fan in the third row. SteelHawks get it at the 10-yard line for the final 1:09. Three-point lead for Lehigh Valley. Just one quarterback for him on the field now, Adam Bednarik, in his customary position after they went with 2 QBs inside the 5-yard line the last drive. Trips right. And as the clock was winding, it takes down to 1 minute, and we hit the 1-minute warning. SteelHawks set to start their drive, leading by 3 points for the final minute of the first half. When we return, 19-16 the score. Back for more after this. You're tuned in to Richmond Raiders football.
It was the third lap of the race. I came up to this jump, and all I remember is like seeing grass and sky rolling so many times.
Eli came in and was very, very frightened.
I woke up, and I had a cast to my toes. Nurse Sherry was the best nurse ever. Nobody can get better than her. She stayed after just to see if I'm all right.
Pediatrics is my world. It's just amazing working with kids. Good help is me.
From infants to teens and everyone in between, the stories continue here.
Attention! At this time, we'd like to ask all passengers seated in Zone All of Richmond to get on board with keeping fares low and adding more competitive flights. All those who want to save money and keep competitive rates in Richmond, please add low-cost airlines to your travel plans. Thank you to those who have. Zone, yes, we're talking to you. Please get on board at this time. Save Low Fares Richmond, a campaign of the Greater Richmond Chamber. SaveLowFares.com.
Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum. Tim Hurley with you at the 1-minute warning of the first half and the sports reality ball toss competition going on. SteelHawks 19, Raiders 16, and it's Lehigh Valley ball at the 10-yard line, 1st and 10. They have 2 timeouts left, and as the Raiders will receive the second half kickoff, they'll try to get points here, score with as little time as possible left before the half ends. They're ready to go. They have trips to the right, all in their stance, set for the snap. Bednarik will send Richie Martin in circle motion. Take the shotgun snap, throw over the middle, complete to Pasley at the 15, tries to put on a juke, but Devin Jones, Tyrell Austin, and Malik Cromartie converge on him at the 19. These Lehigh Valley receivers all about the yards after the catch, juking and jiving, trying to reverse field, plant and cut. Pasley got 9 yards. 2nd and 1, clock ticking, 33 seconds to go. Bednarik looks to his left, has it complete to an open Renford along the wall. Back to the middle of the field he comes. Hit by Jones and Cromartie and brought down in Raider territory. Clock stops on the first down, and the SteelHawks are going to call timeout to keep it stopped with 25 seconds to go. Another 9 yards for Lehigh Valley. 3 straight Bednarik completions have gone for 9. First and 10 for them as they're doing a good job of moving the chains and keeping the clock moving. 25 seconds to go. The SteelHawks still with a timeout. Holding them even to a field goal would be a win for the Raiders defense. If the Raiders go down by 6, they'll take it, since they'll get the second half kickoff and have a chance to tie or take the lead on the very first possession. SteelHawks, another trips right look. Martin, Pasley, and Renford. Bednarik steps up, throws incomplete, had Renford open, but threw it to his left. Bednarik had gotten hot. A couple of completions for him to start the game, but was 10 for 12 until that incompletion. Now he's 10 for 15 overall. Clock stopped with 21 seconds to go. 2nd and 10 for the SteelHawks. Renford backs up on the far right side. He's the high motion man. Bednarik over the middle, incomplete. Pasley open, had to go right through his hands. Chance for the Raiders defense now as the pressure swings a little bit towards Lehigh Valley. 3rd and 10 for them, 17 seconds left. The fans making some noise in the Richmond Coliseum. Trips right again. They like this formation this time out. Pasley's in motion. Bednarik steps back, now steps up and throws complete. Renford circles around trying to get to the sticks, and he does, going over the wall to stop the clock with 9 seconds left. SteelHawks get an important first down at the 11.
Let's just treat it like a third down. Come on, Richmond. Do it again.
First down and 10, but just 9 seconds left. SteelHawks probably going to throw it in the end zone a couple of times. We'll see what Tyrell Austin, Torres Jones, and Malik Cromartie can do in the Raiders' defensive backfield. Trips left to the wide side. Bednarik moves to his left. Pressure comes, and he's going to have to throw it away as Preston Hines got to him. And Bednarik threw a very deep, about 8 yards high, to stop the clock with 2 seconds left. So the play extended. Hines got pressure, and the SteelHawks will have to settle for a field goal attempt on the last play of the first half. Barnard out for his first field goal try of the game. Martin will put it down at the 18. And they didn't pump the clock. They're going to reset the play clock after spotting the ball on the hash mark. A 26-yard try for Barnard. To put the SteelHawks up by 6. Snap comes back, the kick high, sailing towards the uprights and through the uprights as the first half ends. Barnard, good from 26 yards out, and we go to halftime with the score, SteelHawks 22, Raiders 16. Back for the second half after this. You're tuned in to Richmond Raiders football.
Attention! At this time, we'd like to ask all passengers seated in Zone All of Richmond to get on board with keeping fares low and adding more competitive flights. All those who want to save money and keep competitive rates in Richmond, please add low-cost airlines to your travel plans. Thank you to those who have. Zone, yes, we're talking to you. Please get on board at this time. Save Low Fares Richmond, a campaign of the Greater Richmond Chamber. SaveLowFares.com.
At an undisclosed McDonald's location, there is a club where the best of the best gather in secret. Tonight, they welcome LeBron James. And what does one serve the best basketball player? The Bacon Clubhouse. 100% pure beef or chicken sandwich prepared on a new artisan roll, all with our famous Big Mac special sauce. Because everyone deserves the best. Now get free fries and a soft drink with the purchase of any Bacon Clubhouse. There's something for everyone to love at McDonald's.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum. Tim Hurley with you at halftime. It's a 22-16 Lehigh Valley SteelHawk lead over the Richmond Raiders. Things started out well for the Raiders, getting an uno on the opening kickoff from T.C. Stevens, and then a few plays later, chasing Lehigh quarterback Adam Bednarik in the end zone and forcing him to throw it away. He was flagged for intentional grounding in the end zone. It was a Raiders safety, and they were up 3-0. Offense did not fare quite so well, though. Drive stalling out once they got into Lehigh Valley territory. Had to settle for a field goal attempt, which never even got going due to a bad snap and a fire drill on the incomplete pass by holder Jonathan Bain. The SteelHawks offense did get going on their next possession. They completed a 6-play, 34-yard drive. Bednarik found Brandon Renford from 9 yards out to make it 7-3 SteelHawks. Raiders picked up where they left off, unfortunately. Missed a long field goal as they were backed up on the 46-yard attempt. And since it was short, Lehigh Valley return man Dwayne Hollis caught it in the back of the end zone, took it back 56 yards for a touchdown, and that special teams play really the difference in this game. Raiders offense did get going on their next possession, going 40 yards in just 3 plays. Kanopka 8-yard pass to Darren Clark for the score to pull to within 3. Steelhawks answer with a 6-play, 45-yard drive. Went with a wildcat look down inside the 5-yard line with Bednarik split out and Shane McSweeney taking the snap. He passed to Renford from 2 yards out for the touchdown, and it was 19-10. Raiders answered with another long drive, 8 plays, 40 yards. Konopka finding Herb Jones from 10 yards to make it 19-16. And then in the final goings, the SteelHawks burned the final minute and 9 seconds off the clock. Preston Hines got pressure on Bednarik to extend the second to last play of the half. Meaning they had just 2 seconds left of the final play. They went for a field goal, and Michael Barnhart made it from 26 yards to take us to a 22-16 score, and that's where we stand at halftime. We'll take a timeout, come back for the first half stats after this, so stick around for more from Richmond Coliseum. You're tuned in to Richmond Raiders football.
College is hard. Down. Those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education. So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future.
My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it. You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back as we continue from the Richmond Coliseum at halftime with the SteelHawks on top of the Raiders 22-16. Here are the first half stats. Phil Konopka was 10 of 16 passing, 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. John Bain 0 for 1 passing on that field goal try that was a bad snap. Derek Hector 4 catches for 41 yards. Darren Clark 3 catches, 28 yards and a touchdown. And Herb Jones 3 catches, 21 yards and a touchdown. Kenny Jones 3 carries for a net of no yards. T.C. Stevens was 1 of 2 on extra points and 0 of 1 on field goals, missing from 46 yards. That's the one that was returned by Hollis for a touchdown. For the SteelHawks, Adam Bednarik was 11 of 18 for 91 yards and a touchdown. Shane McSweeney 1 for 1, 2 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Renford caught 5 passes for 50 yards and 2 touchdowns. Troy Pasley 4 catches for 25 yards. Richie Martin 2 catches for 12 yards. Chris Schubert 1 catch for 6 yards. McSweeney had a run for 2. Bednarik had a run for a loss of 2. Michael Barnard 1 for 3 on extra points, 1 for 1 on field goals. He was good from 26 yards. SteelHawks had 3 sacks in the first half, coming from Michael Woodhouse, Brandon Sutton, and Tim Hume. Raiders did not get a sack of Bednarik, but pressured him several times. They'll need to keep up that pressure in the second half to keep him off balance and keep the SteelHawks off the scoreboard. Scoreboard reads SteelHawks 22, Raiders 16. We'll take another timeout. Come back to take a look around the PIFL when we return to the Richmond Coliseum, so stay tuned to Richmond Raiders football.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away. But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size.
We know what you told us.
There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat. Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum. Tim Hurley with you at halftime. It's 22-16. SteelHawks on top of the Raiders in an important battle in the PIFL's National Conference. The winner of this game will have at least a share of second place in the conference. And how much of a share will be in part determined by the other game going on tonight, also matching up teams in the National Conference. In Hershey, Pennsylvania, the Harrisburg Stampede hosting the Trenton Freedom this evening, and they're at halftime as well with the score Harrisburg 21, Trenton 14. E.J. Namath has hooked up with Jarrell Jones twice for Harrisburg touchdowns, and then Namath kept it on the ground himself to put the Stampede on top, and they have that 7-point halftime lead. So the Raiders certainly want to see the Freedom lose the rest of the way out. Raiders still in contention for the National Conference regular season title. Definitely want to get one of those top 2 spots and a playoff berth. So a win here tonight is crucial, and a loss by the Trenton Freedom would help as well But first things first, overcoming a 6-point deficit to the Lehigh Valley SteelHawks. Raiders will receive the second half kickoff. And they'll have to get some points on the board early, tie this thing up with a touchdown, maybe get a lead with an extra point, and play from ahead going down the stretch. Try to take down the SteelHawks and pull to a tie with the SteelHawks in the standings. That share of second place in the conference, as these two conference rivals continue to battle it out. Raiders have been getting some pressure on Adam Bednarik, but it's been inconsistent. First drive of the game, definitely. Last drive, last play, they got some pressure on him. But in the middle, he's been able to set his feet, step into his throws, and make some throws, find his receivers downfield. Konopka's been running for his life a lot. Been hit a few times. Like I said, sacked 3 times in the first half. So the Raiders made a change. Got Kenny Jones out of the backfield, put James Carter in, and went with the Lehigh Valley strategy of having 4 offensive linemen in the game at the same time, 1 in the backfield, and 3 actually on the line. Seemed to work pretty well. The protection was better once Carter got back in there. They'll need to keep that protection intact, though. And for the Raiders, it takes away a dimension of their game. The SteelHawks this year, not just tonight, but throughout the season, have not been overly concerned with running the ball. The Raiders have been getting a lot of production from Kenny Jones. Now, if they have to take him out to get more protection for Phil Konopka, that's certainly a choice they have to make, but one that makes them a little more one-dimensional as well. Kicker's back out there warming up for the second half. T.C. Stevens for the Raiders, Michael Barnard for the SteelHawks. As tonight's game presented by Bon Secours is just about ready to get started with half number 2. We'll come back for the second half after this, so stay tuned. Raiders down by 6. They'll get the ball to start things when we return. You're tuned in to Richmond Raiders football.
It was the third lap of the race. I came up to this jump, and all I remember is like seeing grass and sky rolling so many times.
Eli came in and was very, very frightened.
I woke up, and I had a cast to my toes. Nurse Sherry was the best nurse ever. Nobody can get better than her. She stayed after just to see if I'm all right.
Pediatrics is my world. It's just amazing working with kids. Good help is me.
From infants to teens and everyone in between, the stories continue here.
Attention! At this time, we'd like to ask all passengers seated in Zone All of Richmond to get on board with keeping fares low and adding more competitive flights. All those who want to save money and keep competitive rates in Richmond, please add low-cost airlines to your travel plans. Thank you to those who have. Zone Yes, We're Talking to You, please get on board at this time. Save Low Fares Richmond, a campaign of the Greater Richmond Chamber. SaveLowFares.com.
At an undisclosed McDonald's location, there is a club where the best of the best gather in secret. Tonight, they welcome LeBron James. And what does one serve the best basketball player? The Bacon Clubhouse. 100% pure beef or chicken sandwich prepared on a new artisan roll, all with our famous Big Mac special sauce, because everyone deserves the best. Now get free fries and a soft drink with the purchase of any Bacon Clubhouse. There's something for everyone to love at McDonald's.
The Raiders' next home game will be Saturday, June 21st, when they host the Nashville Venom. Back to the regular Saturday night, 7 o'clock start for the regular season home finale. It'll be Show Your Smile Night presented by Horsey Orthodontics. Family 4-packs are available. You get 4 tickets, 4 soft drinks, 4 popcorns, 4 hot dogs, all for one low price. You can get tickets by calling 780-0430 or go to RichmondRaidersProFootball.com. Make sure to get your tickets now for the last home game of the regular season. Raiders versus the currently first place in the American Conference, Nashville Venom, Saturday, June 21st at 7 o'clock p.m. Raiders trying to get a win in their second to last home game here tonight. They have to come back from a 6-point halftime deficit to do so. 22-16 the score with Lehigh Valley on top as we are just about set for the second half. A turnover-free first half for both sides, but a big momentum swinging play. The missed field goal return for a touchdown by the SteelHawks when Dwayne Hollis took it back 56 yards to give the SteelHawks a touchdown, and that touchdown is the margin in this game as they lead by 6. So a big return on special teams with the field goal. No returns on either side on kickoffs. And given the dangerous return abilities of both Scooby Bryant and Speedy Clark, the Raiders' 2 return men, wouldn't be surprised if that streak continues and Michael Barnard just puts this one over the wall. Every single Raiders possession of the first half started from the 10-yard line, coming off of Barnard touchbacks. And he walks off his steps. We're set to go in half number 2. Kick another deep one, driving towards the uprights. Fading away, going wide left. So yet again, the Raiders started at 10 as penalty flags come in. Chris Schubert getting into it with Devin Jones on the kick coverage squad. So flags coming out very early in the second half. We saw penalties go against both teams in the first half. Some unsportsmanlike conduct, some roughing the passer penalties. We'll get this call from Jonah Monroe.
Foul. Kicking team number 6. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Chris Schubert, the former Raider, getting flagged for a 10-yard personal foul penalty, and the Raiders get it at the 20. Derek Hector back out there. We saw him come off the field in the first half after going down a little awkwardly, being tackled after a catch. But he's okay. He's back out there. He's to the left side. Herb Jones and Speedy Clark to the right. Clark's in motion. Carter stays in the backfield for the Raiders. Pocket collapses, and Konopka throws it over the head of Derek Hector. Hector was open. Konopka had to get rid of it quickly. And Hector, even at 6 feet 4 inches tall, couldn't climb the ladder high enough to come down with that ball. Pressure coming up the middle that time from Lehigh Valley. They have Tim Hume, Brandon Sutton, Jonas Celian, Michael Woodhouse, the front 4. Woodhouse, the MAC linebacker, the other 3 down linemen. 2nd and 10, Konopka steps up in the pocket, has room, lobs it deep into double coverage, and it's picked off. Levander Jones comes out of the end zone with it to the 10-yard line, another 15, puts on a cut, gets to midfield, running past the Raiders' offensive lineman. Carter pushes him inside the 5-yard line, and he's down at the 2. Well, Konopka had time to throw, but didn't make the best decision, throwing it into double coverage. Jones came down with it and returned it out of the end zone all the way to the Raider 2-yard line. Jones out of James Madison. About a 46-yard return. 1st and goal, Lehigh Valley. Trips left. Bednarik in the shotgun. Stack formation. Pasley goes in motion. Bednarik keeps it himself, runs up the middle, then slips and falls down. Christian Lacey got a hand on him, might have contributed to his losing his footing and going down for a loss of a yard. Designed to keep her by Bednarik. Lost a yard. 2nd and goal from the 3. Raiders have the best red zone defense in the PIFL. Bednarik sends Pasley inside the formation, keeps it himself. He is going to be swallowed up. Devin Jones brings him down to the 5-yard line. Another loss of a yard for Bednarik. Jones with a tackle for a loss, and it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 5. Jones leads the lead in tackles for loss. Now Billy Jarvis puts him over on the strong side of the formation, the wide side, wanting his speed out there in case the SteelHawks try something to the big side of the field. Trips right for him, and McSweeney's back in there, quarterback. Bednarik out to the right. McSweeney keeps it himself. Going to run, going to get hit, going to stay on his feet and go in the end zone. Touchdown SteelHawks as McSweeney picked his way through traffic and ran it in for the score. So 3 straight quarterback keepers down in the red zone. 2 by Bednarik go nowhere, but McSweeney able to dodge the pressure. A couple Raiders got a hand on him, but McSweeney stayed upright. Scored his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season, 1st tonight. Extra point by Barnard, no good. Pushing it wide to the right. He's missed 3 straight. So the SteelHawks extend their lead, but only by 6. We have 11:26 to play in the 3rd quarter, and it's 28-16. SteelHawks turn the interception, the big return by Jones, into a touchdown. First turnover of the game goes the SteelHawks' direction. And that's a throw that Phil Konopka has to be a little bit better, not seeing the double coverage. Going for the home run ball. So he threw it towards the end zone last time out. Raiders return to action next week, taking on another conference rival, the Harrisburg Stampede. That game will be streamed live on RichmondRaidersProFootball.com. Pre-game coverage starts at 3:30 next Saturday with kickoff at 4 o'clock. So another odd start time. A Saturday matinee as the Raiders take on the Stampede. You can catch all the action right here. Kickoff at 4 o'clock, pre-game at 3:30 from Hershey, Pennsylvania next Saturday. Kickoff by Barnard. End over end. Clark looks up. It goes over his head. Comes out to the 10-yard line. Raiders offense needs to get in gear. Konopka 0 for 2. An incompletion and an interception that previous drive. Scooby Bryant on the field for the Raiders, alone to the left. Herb Jones and Speedy Clark to the right. Now Scooby's going to motion in that direction. He'll get the swing pass and take it behind the block from Herb Jones to get past the 15-yard line. Catch and run by Scooby Bryant, his first reception of the game for a gain of 7. So Scooby and Derek Hector splitting time at that third wide receiver position for the Raiders. Clark and Jones have gone the whole way so far this evening. Clark's in motion this time. Konopka looks that direction and sends to Herb Jones across the 20 for the first down and brought down by Terrence Osborne at the 23. Couple of safer passes for Konopka the first couple of tries. Together they go for a first down, 2 yards shy of midfield. Chain crew getting the stick set. Raiders offense ready to go. Scooby again to the left. He'll again go behind the formation to the right. Kanapka looks to throw deep though, rolls to his right, under pressure, throws it away. Goes off the hands of a fan in the front row. As all three receivers were clearing out, running deep patterns, Kanapka felt some pressure and smartly threw it away, leaving to fight on 2nd and 10. 9:10 to go in the third quarter. SteelHawks have the big play of the half so far. A Lavander Jones interception and return all the way to the Raiders 2. Kanapka being flushed again. Down he goes. Pressure coming from Brandon Sutton. And Carter is hurt for the Raiders. I'll have to take a look at him. As Kanapka went down to the 21 on Sutton's second sack of this game. He has 4.5 on the year, and Carter seemed to be in some pain down there, sitting up and finally getting up on his own, but favoring that left leg, waving off any assistance from Lawrence Lewis and getting a hand from the crowd as he walks off under his own power. So Kenny Jones comes back onto the field. Have to be in there for protection. Then we get back to the action. Got a quick break in the action, so we'll take this opportunity to step away. Back from after this, you're tuned into Richmond Raiders football.
At an undisclosed McDonald's location, there is a club where the best of the best gather in secret. Tonight, they welcome LeBron James. And what does one serve the best basketball player? The Bacon Clubhouse. 100% pure beef or chicken sandwich prepared on a new artisan roll, all with our famous Big Mac special sauce. Because everyone deserves the best. Now get free fries and a soft drink with the purchase of any Bacon Clubhouse. There's something for everyone to love at McDonald's.
It was the third lap of the race. I came up to this jump, and all I remember is like seeing grass and sky rolling so many times.
Eli came in and was very, very frightened.
I woke up, and I had a cast to my toes. Nurse Sherry was the best nurse ever. Nobody can get better than her. She stayed after just to see if I'm all right.
Pediatrics is my world. It's just amazing working with kids. Good help is me.
From infants to teens and everyone in between, the stories continue here.
Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum. Tim Hurley with you. It's 3rd and 12 for the Raiders following the sack of Kanapka. Trips right. And Kanapka will look to throw. Steps up again, getting flushed. Over the middle he goes. A flag is down. The pass incomplete. Too low for Herb Jones.
There's a flag back at the 19-yard line.
Penalty looks to be against the Raiders. They're asking the SteelHawks if they want to decline it.
Offense number 78. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So the play stands incomplete on the 3rd and long. But the Raiders kind of in no man's land here between the 20s, and they're going to go for it on 4th and 12. Two receivers right. Carter back out there for protection. Scooby Bryant in motion on the left side. Kanapka steps up, being chased again, running for his life. A flag is down. Woodhouse seemed to get his face masked. I don't see a flag near Kanapka as he was spilled back inside the 20. They get a hold against the Raiders. Nobody saw the face mask penalty as Woodhouse had a fistful of Kanapka's face mask. So the play stands, and the Raiders turn it over on downs. At best, they would have had a replay of fourth on an offsetting penalties. But it would have been nice to have another chance as opposed to giving the SteelHawks possession at the Raider 19. Trips right for Adam Bednarik. Stands in the pocket, throws to his left. That's complete to Richie Martin. And Torres Jones there to wrap him up and shove him into the wall. Second down and 5 after the completion to Richie Martin. Martin came into the game as the leading receiver on the active squad for the SteelHawks with 26 catches, 324 yards, and 8 touchdowns. On second down, Bednarik throws for the end zone. That's Richie Martin again, and Martin makes the catch for the touchdown. So 2 passes to Richie Martin and a quick touchdown for Lehigh Valley. SteelHawks extend their lead. It's the largest of the game for either side. 34-16 with the offense out there to go for 2. Can't blame them for that. Michael Barnard has missed 3 straight extra points. Trips right on the 2-point try. Bednarik in the shotgun. Looks to throw. Dances. Fires back of the end zone. Caught for 2 by Troy Pasley.
The 2-point conversion is good. With that, the score now SteelHawks 36-16.
So the SteelHawks make up for a couple of those earlier missed extra points. At least one of them anyway. And with 6:35 to go in the third quarter, they are up by 20, 36-16. And the SteelHawk defense has been doing exactly what the Raiders didn't want to see, getting into the backfield and getting pressure on Phil Konopka. Konopka was not sacked at all last week, and he led the team to 72 points. He's been dropped 5 times tonight, and several other times had to run in the pocket, scramble, throw on the run, throw it away. Raiders unable to find an answer for the front 4 of Lehigh Valley. That's actually against tight for the SteelHawks. They came into this game 7th in the league, only 12 sacks on the year in 8 games coming in for Lehigh Valley. So where's that defense when you need it? Kickoff bends inside the uprights, and Barnard has an uno. Lead creeps up to 21 points. 37-16 now. And Kenny Jones on the field. James Carter sitting on the bench for the Raiders. As back to the 5-yard line, they're going to go with Moses, Weaver, and Gardner up front. Jones in the backfield. Derek Hector along with Clark and Jones at wide receiver. Konopka in trouble, screens it out to Kenny Jones, makes the catch, goes across the 5, and keeps turning across the 10 for progress to just shy of the 11. So the dump off to Kenny Jones. Raiders a little bit of breathing room. Second down and 5. Clark goes in motion. Konopka runs in the pocket. He is hit again and brought down. Sutton, the first man there, and Tim Hume there to help. third sack of the half and 6th for the game for Lehigh Valley. They've found something up front. As I mentioned, came into the game with only 12 in 8 games. They have 6 tonight. Third down and 6 with Hector motioning out of the end zone. Konopka steps up. He is hit high. A flag comes in for the face mask, and Clark makes the catch going over the wall, hangs onto the ball at the 16-yard line. Raiders would gain more on a 10-yard face mask penalty. The completion good for a first down to Clark at the 16 as Jonah Monroe, our white cap, huddles up. We get the call.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 17. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
So the Raiders do take 10 yards in the penalty. They would have had 7 on the pass. So they go a little farther downfield. Ball marked at the Raider 21. .445 to play in the third quarter. Raiders have seen their 6-point halftime deficit balloon on a couple of Lehigh Valley touchdowns. SteelHawks on a 15-0 run to start the second half. Konopka feeling the pressure, throws it, caught by Speedy Clark. He goes down near the 10-yard line. Another first down for the Raiders. That one good for 18 yards. Konopka to Speedy Clark a couple of times. That one counted, and it's 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Carter back in there in the backfield. Gets a block down. Flag down on the play. Pass goes into the end zone for Herb Jones. Incomplete as he was being grabbed by Terrence Osborne. We'll check the flag at the 9-yard line.
Defense, number 58. After this is go, automatic first down.
That's Michael Woodhouse on illegal defense. The banged up SteelHawk player is Tim Hume. Hume walking off under his own power. Corey Darby on in his spot. Clock ticking, 3:45 to go in the third. Raiders have a 1st and goal at the SteelHawks 6-yard line. Trips left, Herb Jones, Clark, and Hector. Konopka rolls to his left, throws it for the corner, and Clark makes the catch, going over the wall into the SteelHawk bench. Did he hang on? Yes, he did! Touchdown, Raiders! Speedy Clark makes the catch going over the wall. An unfriendly reception in the SteelHawk bench, but he hung on for the touchdown. If you make a catch, as long as you go over the wall and come down with the ball, it counts. And Chris Thompson not happy with the call. Of course, he and all the SteelHawks over there are saying that Clark didn't have possession, but they're the only ones who will know for sure. Referees got there, saw Clark had the ball in his hands, meaning it was a touchdown. Stevens for the extra point. Good snap, the hold down, the kick blocked. Bounding toward the wall, and it goes over the wall for no advance. Woodhouse got back there in a thing that we saw repeatedly here in Richmond when Woodhouse was a Raider. Shot back, blocked the extra point. The score remains 37-22. 2:24 to go in the third quarter. It's Woodhouse's third block kick of the season. "45-yard drive for the Raiders, 4 plays, a couple of penalties by the SteelHawks, but the big play, an 18-yard pass to Darren Clark, before the 6-yard pass to Clark going over the wall into the SteelHawk bench and hanging on for the touchdown. Second touchdown tonight for Darren Clark. Raiders close the gap, they trail by 15. They have to get a defensive stop. Steelhawk offense has been out there a couple of times, one on a very short drive after the interception return set them up. One, a longer drive yardage-wise, but still, following a turnover on downs, we're set up in Raider territory. It took them just 2 plays to score. So only a handful of plays for Lehigh Valley's offense in the third quarter. So that Raider defense, which like I said, needs a stop. It's going to try to get out there and make that happen. Here late in the third quarter. Stevens is ready. Hollis is deep. It's a high, deep kick going towards the uprights and splitting them high above the crossbar. Another Uno for TC Stevens. TC has 2 Unos tonight. Raiders get to within 14, so he makes up for the extra point that he got blocked a second ago. 2 touchdown margin for the Steelhawks. They have to come out from their own 5-yard line. Trips right. Bednarik puts Pasley in motion. Steps up. He's going to run it himself. A designed run for the Lehigh Valley quarterback. Kevin Allen hits him and brings him down across the 10-yard line. Bednarik on the keeper to try to get him out of a little bit of trouble. Under 2 minutes to play. Second down and short for the Steelhawks. Trips right again. Pasley in motion again. Bednarik under pressure. Jones hits him and brings him down. Devin Jones, a sack at the 5-yard line. So the 6 yards go right back. And it's third down and 10. Chris Schubert on for the Steelhawks. He's in the corner of the end zone, all the way to the left, and he goes in motion. Bednarik in trouble again. As he throws, has it complete out to Martin, who's running circles, trying to get free, is brought down, and they're going to give him forward progress outside the 10-yard line as Gus Tyson and Tyrell Austin combined on the tackle. Favorable spot to the 12. Fourth down and 3. Steelhawk offense out there. Bednarik getting the call from head coach Chris Thompson. Final seconds of the quarter, 10 seconds on the play clock on fourth down and 3. Crowd making some noise. Trips right for Bednarik. And the shotgun looks to throw. Brings it down, runs to his right on the bye time, going to run for it, going to get the first down to the 20-yard line, and Malik Cromartie puts a shoulder into him as Bednarik scrambles and keeps the drive alive with a first down as the third quarter comes to an end.
SteelHawks
37-23 the score as we are at the end of the third quarter. Back for the fourth quarter after this. You're tuned into Richmond Raiders football.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm going to have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum. Tim Hurley with you. The SteelHawks convert a fourth down to end the third quarter. So we start the fourth quarter with a first set of downs for Lehigh Valley. They lead 37-23. They'll have it at their own 21-yard line when we get back to the action. We've seen a couple of designed runs for Bednarik this half. That fourth down play was not a designed run. He wanted to throw it, but nobody was open. So he scrambled, picked up the first down with his feet. Kept this drive alive.
This is your participation time.
Bednarik completed all three of his pass attempts in the third quarter. Ran it a handful of times. McSweeney came in for a play, ran it in for a touchdown. So like I was saying, not a lot of offense in terms of sheer quantity of plays for the SteelHawks in the third quarter, but they got two touchdowns and extended their lead. Two receivers on the short side, Schubert and Renford. Martin going in motion on the wide side. A lot of room to run for him. Pass goes off the helmet of Renford and incomplete. Bednarik's first incompletion of the second half. Second down and 10. Raiders defensive front, Preston Hines, Christian Lacey, Devin Jones, Gus Tyson. Need to get back there and get some pressure on Bednarik. Renford will go in motion this time. Bednarik steps up in the pocket. Little sidearm pass to Martin. Hit immediately by Allen. Big hit by Kevin Allen, who drops Martin for a minimal gain. Just two on the pickup. Third down and 8. And a chance for the Raiders defense to line up a stop here in the early goings of the fourth quarter. Trips left for him. Martin going in motion. Bednarik. Pocket collapses, but he gets it away. Complete to Schubert. Tackled immediately by Terrell Austin at the 16, but that's enough for the first down.
Chris Schubert falls on the 15-yard line. Brings up first and 10 at the 16.
So a couple of big conversions for the SteelHawks this possession. A fourth down conversion, a third and long conversion. Keep on moving those chains. First down at the 16. Bednarik sends Brendan Renford in high motion. Throws off his back foot, lobbing it towards Torres Jones, who picks it off. Torres Jones out of the end zone with the football to the 5-yard line, another 10, cutting to the 15, on his feet to the 20, across midfield, dragging a defender down inside the 20-yard line. Torres Jones, a huge play for the Raiders, picking it off and taking it down inside Lehigh Valley territory. It's the 4th interception of the year for Torres Jones. Comes at a great time for the Raiders. A 35-yard return of the interception by Torres Jones. Raiders ball 1st and 10 at the SteelHawks 17. Big guys out there up front. Konopka with protection, throws out, sideline pass, caught by Herb Jones. Down the wall he goes to inside the 10. It'll be close to a first down, not quite going to get the spot for it as he was marked out of bounds at the 8. Second down and 1. Clark going in motion. Konopka, deep drop, steps up, pass is tipped, and it is picked off. A nice interception off the turf by Dwayne Hollis, and he is spilled at the 3-yard line. So on the tip ball, Hollis able to get his fingertips under it and bring it out to the 3. So just as soon as the momentum turns in favor of the Raiders, the SteelHawks get it right back. 11:32 to go in the 4th quarter, and the SteelHawks have possession. There is an injured Lehigh Valley player down. I believe it's Tim Hume. And it is indeed, but Hume is up and standing up, unassisted. He'll come off with the rest of the SteelHawk defense following the interception. Second one tonight for Lehigh Valley. And another quick change. Raiders defense out there looking for a stop deep in SteelHawk territory. Schubert stays in with Renford and Martin. Bednarik stands in the end zone in the shotgun. Hesitates, throws, looking for Schubert, and the pass is incomplete, and give a big assist to the fan in the front row. Schubert going for it over the wall, didn't quite secure it, and the fan got his hands on it. Referee right on top of it, and he gets a hand from the law. Big hand from the knowledgeable Raider fans, being the 9th man here in the Richmond Coliseum. Second down and 10. See, you get a ticket in the front row, you can be a defensive back. Martin goes in motion. Bednarik from the end zone. Pressure comes over the middle. It's complete. Big hit on Brendan Renford, but he hangs on as Tyrell Austin closes at the 14-yard line. That's enough for a SteelHawk first down. Under 10.5 minutes to play in the game. 14-point lead for Lehigh Valley, so the Raiders defense does need more stops. They're going to come back in this one. Trips left. Now Martin going out of it to the right side. Bednarik's going to keep it. Get hit by Cromartie. Tackled at the 19. So the SteelHawks trying to mix in the run from the quarterback keeper. They've gone big all night long with 4 offensive linemen in there, one of whom lines up with a fullback spot. Justin Bathurst doing those honors. Schubert goes in motion. Bednarik under pressure, short arms it, it goes incomplete. Renford in the area, but Bednarik couldn't step into it and bounced it on the turf. Another third down for the SteelHawks. 5 yards to go, 9:15 to play. Schubert and Renford on the right. Renford's going to get a big head start. Bednarik, as the play is whistled dead, gets it away.
Start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
J.B. Walton, a false start. Third down and 10. Billy Jarvis calling the defense. Raiders looking for another big play. Defense has given them a few tonight. See what they drum up on third and long. Renford going in motion. Flags come down. Hines pressures Bednarik. He steps away. Has time. Sets up. Floats it deep. That one's up for grabs. And it's picked off by Malik Cromartie. Cromartie down by contact immediately as Renford was there. But we'll check the flag. It may be offsides against the Raiders.
Offside. Defense number 90. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
That's exactly what it was. Christian Lacey jumped. And the interception is nullified. And Bednarik was betting that was offsides because he just threw that one up for grabs. He knew he had a man deep, knew he had a penalty and a free play. But still a big play for Cromartie. Wiped off, and it's third down and 5. Trips left. Martin stays on that side. Bednarik feeling pressure. He's hit. He goes down. Devin Jones has his second sack of the game. Loss of 5. Fourth down and 10. Field goal unit comes on. Big play by Devin Jones to force a long field goal by Michael Barnard. Barnard was good from 26 before, but this is a 51-yard attempt. Speedy Clark is deep. High snap, it's put down. Kick is away. It's going to come down and play. Clark makes the catch 3 yards deep. Out of the end zone he comes to the 10, to the 15, reversing his field. He's hit and dropped at the 14-yard line. A penalty flag is down at midfield. Raiders might lose a little bit of this return yardage on an illegal block. On the coverage.
The return, block in the back, the return team, number 11. 10-yard penalty, first down.
But they will keep possession. No points on the board for Lehigh Valley. And with 7:16 left, that's important. Having the ball is important. Penalty takes it back to the 7-yard line. First and 10 for the Raiders. Konopka to throw. Gets it out to Derek Hector. Makes a move at the 15-yard line and gets a couple more yards. And he will be very close to the first down. And he has it.
He's out to the 18-yard line.
Raiders trail by 14. 6:35 to go. So time a factor as they need 2 touchdowns. Konopka to throw, has time, stands in the pocket. Open is Herb Jones making the catch from the 20 to the 15 to the 10 with a stiff arm and brought down at the 7-yard line by the time Stanley Dunbar finally able to wrap him up. First and goal for the Raiders. Well, they had first and goal last drive, but a tip ball was intercepted. They'll look for better results here. Scooby Bryant going in motion. Konopka dumps it out to him. Tries to get behind some blocks. Goes to the 5 and the 4-yard line. Dunbar there again for the tackle. So second and goal as Coach Fuller sends in the play. Kenny Jones still on the sideline. So going for protection. James Carter at fullback. Trips left. Konopka looks to throw. Fires it, and that one got knocked down at the line. Jonas Celian in the area as Konopka threw it low. Celian didn't have to do much to get credit for that pass broken up. Third down and goal. Touchdown territory here. Raiders have to get in the end zone. Clark goes in motion. Konopka lobs it. Clark in the end zone, brings it in. Touchdown. No, they say it hit the wall. They say the ball hit the wall. They say that Clark did not have possession before the ball hit the wall. And it's going to be 4th and goal. Well, that's the rule. You cannot pin the ball against the wall. You've got to have it cleanly and securely without the ball hitting the wall in any way. So the incomplete pass, 4th and goal. Konopka to throw for it. Lobs it for Herb Jones, and he makes a one-handed catch. Touchdown, Raiders! What a catch by Herb Jones, being bodied up by Stanley Dunbar. But he goes up, fends off Dunbar with one hand, and makes the catch with the other. So on 4th and goal, Herb Jones gets his second touchdown of the game. T.C. Stevens on for the extra point. Good snap, good hold. The kick is high, and the kick is good. So the Raiders pull to within 7, 37-30. 3:18 to go. And the question is, do the Raiders go onside, or with all 3 timeouts left, do they kick it deep, play defense, and try to get the ball back? Raiders were successful earlier this year against Trenton with an onside kick. That was a little bit of a surprise. That one recovered by Scooby Bryant. Bryant's out there. Kenny Jones, Kevin Allen also on that side. If you're looking for hands, guys, you've got Torres Jones more towards the middle. Tyrell Austin all the way to T.C. Stevens left. Stevens ready for the kickoff. He goes deep with it. A high driving kick that clears the wall, clears the bench, and goes into the stands. The Raiders do elect to just kick it deep, keep it out of the hands of Dwayne Hollis, and play defense. 3:18 to go. 37-30 the score. SteelHawks up by 7. Raiders have gotten 2 straight stops, an interception and a missed field goal. The third stop in a row would be just what the doctor ordered. Trips left for Bednarik. Swings it out to Schubert. Gets behind a block. Cromartie there to slip in and make the tackle, and Schubert extends the ball to the 16-yard line. Haven't seen Troy Pasley this half. It's been Schubert, Renford, and Martin the whole way for Lehigh Valley. Same trio out there with Brandon Renford standing 10 yards deep. Bednarik taking some time off the clock, finally sends Renford in circle motion, snaps it with 2 seconds left, pass out to Martin. Shooting the gap is Tyrell Austin to slow him up, and the cavalry gets there. Martin stays in bounds, gains a couple. And everything gets sorted out. Ball's marked to the 17, so actually just a gain of 1 for Richie Martin. 3rd down and 4 the SteelHawks. Trips left. Bednarik still watching that play clock tick down to 4, now 3. Snap comes. Bednarik looks to throw to his left, and that is incomplete. Cromartie knocked it away. Cromartie almost had the pick. Instead, has a big pass deflection on 3rd down to bring up 4th down and decision time for Lehigh Valley. They've got time, though. They can let the clock wind down to the 1-minute warning. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. 4th down. Big play coming up for both sides as we hit the 1-minute warning. Just a touchdown margin for Lehigh Valley. Huge play in this game. When we come back, the final 60 seconds of action after this. You're tuned in to Richmond Raiders football.
It was the 3rd lap of the race. I came up to this jump, and all I remember is like seeing grass and sky rolling so many times.
Eli came in and was very, very frightened.
I woke up, and I had a cast to my toes. Nurse Sherry was the best nurse ever. Nobody can get better than her. She stayed after just to see if I'm all right.
Pediatrics is my world. It's just amazing working with kids. Good help is me.
From infants to teens and everyone in between, the stories continue here.
Attention! At this time, we'd like to ask all passengers seated in Zone All of Richmond to get on board with keeping fares low and adding more competitive flights. All those who want to save money and keep competitive rates in Richmond, please add low-cost airlines to your travel plans. Thank you to those who have. Zone Yes, We're Talking to You, please get on board at this time. Save Low Fares Richmond, a campaign of the Greater Richmond Chamber. SaveLowFares.com.
Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum. Tim Hurley with you as the fans are getting fired up for 4th down and 3 for Lehigh Valley. The field goal unit is on. Barnard will try a 48-yard field goal. He missed a 51-yarder last time out. Scooby Bryant deep for a return. The kick away, high end over end, and it's going to reach the gap behind the wall, but it's no good. So the Raiders take over trailing by only 7 points with 55 seconds to go. .55 seconds left. The Raiders have all 3 of their timeouts. This one's shaping up to be another tight game between these two clubs. Those were the rule last year every time they met. And in the first meeting this year, just a one-possession game. Raiders trail by 7 with the football. Scooby Bryant stays on. He's the motion man. Konopka, a deep drop. Being chased, rolling to his right, gets rid of the ball, complete to Herb Jones, a couple yards shy of midfield. Sure tackle made by Terrence Osborne. It's a gain of 13. Clock stopped on the first down. 49 seconds to go. They get the chain set, and the clock is wound. Speedy Clark, the motion man. Konopka, another deep drop. He is hit, and he goes down back at the 15-yard line. Sutton got back there, pushed his man backwards into Konopka, and Celian in on the play as well. Raiders call timeout. Stopping the clock with 38 seconds left. Man, 7 sacks for Lehigh Valley tonight. They are playing like a unit possessed. They had 12 all year coming in. That was a loss of 9, so it'll be 2nd and 19. Raiders down to 2 timeouts. SteelHawks have all 3 of theirs. That's Scooby Bryant on the left side, Herb Jones on the right, and Speedy Clark in the slot to the right is going to go in motion. Konopka again gets rid of it, has it complete to Bryant. He's trying to get a move on, but runs backwards and is brought down at the 15-yard line, and the Raiders have to call timeout again. Well, Scooby was close to the wall, a little bit farther upfield, and could have gone over the wall to save that last timeout and have a couple more yards, but he was trying to juke and jive. Instead, got tackled back at the 16. So the Raiders call their second timeout with 28 seconds on the clock. Got to get out of neutral here, get downfield, move the sticks. Got to be a touchdown on this drive for the Raiders. They trail by 7. 3rd and 16 in their face right now. Brandon Sutton had 2.5 sacks coming in. He has 3.5 tonight. Woodhouse had 2 coming in, has 2 tonight. But making it rough for Phil Konopka. Well, Gardner, Weaver, Moses, and Carter have to give him protection here. 3rd and long. Bryant, the motion man. Konopka has time, stands up, fires, and Herb Jones brings it in across midfield at the 23. Forward progress stopped. Raiders called timeout. 4th down coming up. Pass good for 11, but still well shy of the first down. It's going to be 4th and 5. Raiders now out of timeouts. If they get the first down here, the clock will stop temporarily. Have to get to the line and get a play ready or a spike. Unless they get to the sideline. But right now, sideline less important than just getting past the Lehigh Valley 18.5-yard line. Getting that all-important first down. So here we go. Big fourth down for the Raiders. They trail by 7 in the final 19 seconds. Clark goes in motion. Kanapka sets his feet, throws long, looking for Bryant, and he comes down with the ball in the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders! Kanapka dials long distance on fourth down. Scooby Bryant there in the end zone for the catch, and the Raiders within a point. T.C. Stevens on to tie the game. After an amazing catch by Scooby Bryant, falling down to the turf and securing possession. Extra point by T.C. is good, and we're tied. 13 seconds left. 37-37 the score. And T.C. Stevens has a chance to put the Raiders up with an Uno on the kickoff. He's already got 2 of them tonight. That's got to be the instruction here. We've already seen how disruptive and explosive Dwayne Hollis can be in the return game. You cannot let him get his hands on it when a field goal wins it for Lehigh Valley. So keep it away from him, kick it out of the end zone, and best case scenario, get the Uno and take the lead. Stevens will tee it up, and this crowd is energized. Everyone's pointing for the Uno. All the fans in the stands want this Uno from T.C. Stevens. It's a high, deep, driving kick toward the uprights. He got it! An Uno for T.C. Stevens! And the Raiders go up by 1. Huge hand from the crowd. They're on their feet. The chest bump from the Law as TC comes off. High-fiving everybody down the line. The Raiders have the lead for the first time since it was 3-0 in the first quarter. And now they're 13 seconds away from a win. The SteelHawks have to get into field goal range. Of course, they can win it with a field goal. Trips left on 1st and 10 from the 5, and a whistle. The play whistle dead, and we have a timeout by Lehigh Valley before they can get the snap away. T.C. Stevens comes through. A pressure-packed extra point to tie the game, and then his third Uno of the night to put the Raiders up 38-37. Raiders have kept the SteelHawks at bay the last couple of drives. As I mentioned, 2 long field goal attempts forced by the Raiders defense of 51 and 48 yards, both of them no good. And right now, the way Barnard's been kicking, I'm sure the Raiders would take their chances on another about 50-yard field goal from him. SteelHawks down to 2 timeouts. Raiders don't have any. But they don't want to stop the clock now. They want these 13 seconds to disappear. First and 10 from the 5 for the SteelHawks. Renford's in the back of the end zone. He wants as big a head start as he can get. Bednarik sends him in motion. From the end zone, Bednarik to throw. Rolls to his right. Looking downfield. Hennessy throws and throws it away. Pressure coming from Christian Lacey, Gus Tyson, and Preston Hines. 7 seconds left. Good coverage downfield by the Raider DBs. Got to extend those plays, keep the clock moving, make Bednarik run for it. SteelHawks will look to get 2 more plays in these final 7 seconds. Raiders want to end it right here. Same set for Lehigh Valley with trips to the left, but Narik's going to call timeout. Play clock was down to 4. Second timeout of the half for the SteelHawks. So the whole field's still open for Lehigh Valley. If they want to go over the middle, try to gain 10, 15 yards, and set up a field goal attempt, they can do it, as long as they get down with time left and then call timeout. What a finish here in Richmond. Raiders are on a 22-0 run going back to the late stages of the third quarter. Second down for Lehigh Valley. 7 seconds left. Renford out of the end zone in motion, but Narek going to do a short pass caught by Schubert. He immediately sends it over the wall at the 13-yard line with 3 seconds left. So that stops the clock. And it's going to come down to a field goal attempt by Michael Barnard. Another long one for Barnard. He's missed from 51 and from 48 his last 2 attempts. This will be from 52 for the win. But first, a timeout, and Lehigh Valley has called their last timeout. Barnard, 5 for 22 on field goals coming in. 1 for 3 tonight. The one he made was from 26 yards. That one ended the first half. And he's missed 2 long ones in the second half. This the longest of them all, from 52 yards. Everyone on their feet. Everyone making some noise. Barnard for the win. The hold, the kick, going toward the uprights, going right, no good! The kick is no good! The game is over! The Raiders win! The Raiders close the game on a 22-0 run, and they defeat the Lehigh Valley SteelHawks 38-37, and they claim a share of second place in the PIFL National Conference standings. What a finish! What a comeback for the Richmond Raiders! Another thrilling, close game between these 2 rivals, the Raiders and the SteelHawks, with the Raiders coming out on top for the 4th straight time going back to last year. They won by 2 and they won by 4 to close things out in 2013. They win by 1 the first meeting in 2014. And it's a victorious celebration down on the field as the fans come out to celebrate with the Raiders. What a win! 38-37 with a big second half comeback. High fives and hugs all around for the Raiders and the fans. SteelHawks dejected, walking off the field yet again with a loss on this Richmond Coliseum turf. The Raiders win it by 1, 38-37. We'll take a break. Come back to recap it for you after this. You're tuned in to Richmond Raiders football.
Attention! At this time, we'd like to ask all passengers seated in Zone All of Richmond to get on board with keeping fares low and adding more competitive flights. All those who want to save money and keep competitive rates in Richmond, please add low-cost airlines to your travel plans. Thank you to those who have. Zone, yes, we're talking to you. Please get on board at this time. Save Low Fares Richmond, a campaign of the Greater Richmond Chamber. SaveLowFares.com.
At an undisclosed McDonald's location, there is a club where the best of the best gather in secret. Tonight, they welcome LeBron James. And what does one serve the best basketball player? The Bacon Clubhouse. 100% pure beef or chicken sandwich prepared on a new artisan roll, all with our famous Big Mac special sauce. Because everyone deserves the best. Now get free fries and a soft drink with the purchase of any Bacon Clubhouse. There's something for everyone to love at McDonald's.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
It was the third lap of the race. I came up to this jump, and all I remember is like seeing grass and sky rolling so many times.
Eli came in and was very, very frightened.
I woke up, and I had a cast to my toes. Nurse Sherry was the best nurse ever. Nobody can get better than her. She stayed after just to see if I'm all right.
Pediatrics is my world. It's just amazing working with kids. Good help is me.
From infants to teens and everyone in between, the stories continue here.
Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum. Tim Hurley with you in the victorious post-game celebration for the Raiders. A 38-37 win over the Lehigh Valley SteelHawks, though it didn't look like they would get the win going into the third quarter. They were down by 6 at halftime through an interception on the first possession of the second half. So instead of potentially having a chance to go down and take the lead with a touchdown to start the second half, they went down by 2 touchdowns. When following the return of the interception down to the Raider 2-yard line, Shane McSweeney, a couple of plays later, ran the ball in from 5 yards out to put the SteelHawks up by 12. Then the Raiders turned it over on downs, sacked on 4th down at their own 19-yard line. 2 plays later, Bednarik found Richie Martin from 14 yards and then found Troy Pasley for the 2-point conversion to make it 36-16. Michael Barnard had an uno to make it 37-16 at the 6:35 mark of the third quarter, and the Raiders, down by 21 points, certainly had their work cut out for them. But the defense would step up and not allow Lehigh to score any more points the entire game. The offense got going on that drive, a 4-play, 45-yard drive. Konopka, a 6-yard pass to Darren Clark for the touchdown, and the extra point was blocked, but T.C. Stevens made up for it with an uno to make it 37-23. On the ensuing Lehigh Valley possession, Torres Jones picked off Bednarik and took it back to the Lehigh Valley 17-yard line. Raiders were in business until a Konopka pass was tipped and then plucked just before it hit the turf by Dwayne Hollis. So some air out of the Raiders' sails on the turnover. But coming out from their own 3-yard line, the SteelHawks couldn't really get too much going. Had to settle for a long field goal attempt after the Raiders stopped them on 3rd down, and that one was no good from 51 yards. Raiders took over with their own 7, traversed 43 yards in 6 plays. Konopka, a big play to Herb Jones, who went up and made a one-handed touchdown catch from 4 yards out to close the gap to 7, 37-30. With 3:18 left, the Raiders kicked deep, played defense, and on a 3-and-out forced another long field goal attempt. This one no good from 48 yards. So with 55 seconds to go, Raiders had the ball at the 10-yard line, down by just 7 points. Drive stalled around midfield. They faced 4th down, and on 4th down, Phil Konopka through to the end zone. Scooby Bryant was there to make the 23-yard catch and give the Raiders the tie after the extra point. And then T.C. Stevens came through with a huge uno, his 3rd of the game, to make it 38-37. And the SteelHawks were backed up to their own 5-yard line. Bednarik was chased on 1st down, had to throw it away. On 2nd down, threw complete short to Schubert, who went out of bounds to stop the clock for the final couple of seconds. And the final play, the field goal attempt from 52 yards, which went no good, wide to the right, and the Raiders escaped with a 38-37 win over the SteelHawks to move to 4-4 on the year. To check that, 4-5 on the year. SteelHawks dropped to 4-5 on the year, and the two teams are tied in the PIFL's National Conference standings. Run down the stats for you. For the Raiders, Phil Konopka was 24 of 38 for 234 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Herb Jones had 9 catches for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. Darren Clark, 6 catches, 63 yards and 2 touchdowns. Scooby Bryant, 4 catches, all in the second half, 35 yards and 1 touchdown. Derek Hector, 4 catches for 41 yards. Kenny Jones had a catch for 5 yards, 3 runs for no yards. And John Bain, off of a bad snap on an extra point, threw incomplete, so he's 0 for 1 passing. T.C. Stevens, 3 of 5 on extra points, 0 of 1 on field goals, but 3 unos to make the difference in this game. For Lehigh Valley, Adam Bednarik was 20 of 33 passing, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Richie Martin had 7 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown. Brendan Renford, 6 catches, 61 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Chris Schubert, 4 catches for 31 yards. Troy Pasley, 4 catches for 25 yards. Bednarik ran the ball 6 times for 13 yards. Shane McSweeney had 1 completion in his only attempt for a 2-yard touchdown, and he ran the ball twice for 7 yards and 1 touchdown. Barnard was 1 for 4 on extra points, 1 for 4 on field goals, and had 1 uno. Defensively for the Raiders, Torres Jones had an interception. Devin Jones had 2 sacks to pad his league-leading total, and Malik Cromartie had a pass broken up. A ton of sacks for Lehigh Valley, coming in with only 12 on the season, ranked 7th in the PIFL. They had 7 tonight, including 3.5 from Brandon Sutton, 2 from Michael Woodhouse, and 1.5 from Tim Hume. Dwayne Hollis and Levander Jones each had an interception, and Woodhouse also had a blocked extra point to keep things off schedule momentarily for the Raiders. Raiders, as I said, moved to 4-5, drawing into a tie for second place in the National Conference with Lehigh Valley, who drops to 4-5. Latest update from Harrisburg, where the Stampede are playing the Freedom. Freedom on top, 50-49, after the Stampede closed the gap to pull to within 1. And the Stampede were about to kick off. Last we saw an update, so they were certainly going to go onside with 28 seconds left, trailing by a point. And we're trying to get some updates from Harrisburg as the Stampede, if they can come back and get a win, will also go to 4-5 and create a 3-way tie for second place in the conference and drop the Freedom to 6-3. But as it looks like right now, at least, the latest update we have with the 1-point lead for Trenton, if they hang on, they'll go to 7-3, be in the driver's seat in the conference, 2 games ahead in the loss column of the Raiders and the SteelHawks, and the Stampede would drop to 3-6. Want to remind you, the Raiders' next home game will be the last home game of the regular season. It'll be in a couple weeks on Saturday, June 21st at 7 o'clock p.m. here at the Richmond Coliseum as they take on the American Conference leading Nashville Venom. A big one on the horizon there as the teams jockey for playoff position. Home field advantage could be at stake for the Venom if they stay near the top of the American Conference standings. Who knows, could be in play for the Raiders too if they're able to keep on climbing the National Conference standings. So come on out for the final home game of the regular season 2 weeks from tomorrow, June 21st at 7 o'clock p.m. here at the Richmond Coliseum. Call 780-0430 for tickets or log on to richmondraidersprofootball.com. Raiders' next game is next week. They'll take on the Harrisburg Stampede. And you can catch all the action on richmondraidersprofootball.com. We'll have the live stream for you. It is a Saturday afternoon game, 4 o'clock start, 3:30 pregame coverage from Hershey, Pennsylvania, the Giant Center, where the Harrisburg Stampede have their home games. So be sure to check in with us for another huge National Conference showdown as the Raiders take on the Stampede next Saturday. And join us here at the Coliseum in 2 Saturdays for the regular season home finale as the Raiders play the Nashville Venom on June 21st. That'll wrap things up from the Richmond Coliseum. Want to thank our great sponsors who brought you the game tonight, including the Heroes Academy, MWV, McDonald's, Bon Secours, Richmond International Airport, T. Miller's, Genworth, Richmond Tax Solutions, and Crown Richmond BMW. The Raiders win a thriller, 38-37 over the Lehigh Valley SteelHawks, and have a share of second place in the National Conference. We'll talk to you again next week from Harrisburg. Until then, this is Tim Hurley from the Richmond Coliseum saying good evening, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thanks for tuning in. Good night, everyone.